Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Last night, the Atlanta Braves found their focus and beat the Colt 45-clad Astros. Tonight, Wandy Rodriguez makes his second start of the season as the Astros try to dance their way to another series win. Party on, Garth. Astros and Braves next on Fox Sports Houston.
Welcome to the opening week of baseball presented by Burger King. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's the Atlanta Braves who are 1-4 against the Houston Astros. Their record is 3-2. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays, the finale of the homestand, and the Astros won that first series against Colorado. They can take this series tonight, JD.
Yeah, I'd imagine if you had asked Brad Mills before the homestand, would he be happy with 3-3? He would have said yes. Now he won't say that because he's got a chance to be 4-2, and he turns the ball over to the capable left-hander, Wandy Rodriguez, tonight, who against the Braves in his career has been quite good. 3-2, 3.25 ERA for 10 starts. He pitched twice against them last year. 6 shutout in one game, 8 shutout in the other. They're up against a hard-throwing rookie right-hander, Randall Delgado. 7 starts last year for Atlanta, 1-1 with a 2.83 ERA. He's among their best prospects.
The Astros lost last night, but they mounted a lot of offense, left a lot of people on base. Jordan Schaefer had 3 hits. He stole 3 bases. Carlos Lee, 3 hits, drove in 2. On base all 5 times. We'll see what tonight brings in just a moment.
brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Outside Minute Maid Park, the glove of Jeff Bagwell inside. The Astros have just taken the field to wrap up this first 6-game homestand with a final game against the Braves. The Astros come into play 3-2, a chance to go 4-2 with a couple of series wins if they can take the victory tonight. That's the scene set as the Astros take their warm-up tosses as we get set to send it to the booth. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Thank you, Greg, and those fans are going to enjoy a wonderful evening. Nice breeze coming through. Here's the starting lineup for Freddie Gonzalez Braves, brought to you by Hyundai. Michael Bourne leads it off, the former Astro at center field, followed by Martin Prado. Then it's Freddie Freeman at first base, Chipper Jones at third, Dan Uggla at second, Jason Hayward in right field, David Ross is the catcher, Jack Wilson plays shortstop, batting eighth, Randall Delgado is on the mound.
Wandy Rodriguez made his first ever opening day start against the Colorado Rockies. He worked 6 1/3 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 runs, none of which were earned, walked 2, and struck out 2.
The Astros defense is brought to you by the Home Depot. J.D. Martinez, Jordan Schaefer, Travis Buck gets the start in right field, his second start in this series. It's Chris Johnson, Marvin Gonzalez, Jose Altuve, Carlos Lee, the catcher Jason Castro for Wandy Rodriguez, who, as you told us in that opener, was victimized by some poor fielding. He had one of those errors. The Astros, as he did not allow an earned run, fell to Colorado 5-3. He gave up 3 unearned runs, so with proper fielding support, even though he had a high ERA, JD, in spring training, he looked much better in the opener.
Yeah, he battled through it. I didn't think he was particularly sharp, especially early in that ball game. I thought his fastball command was lacking, and curveball didn't really come around for him until the middle innings, but as Brad Mills mentioned after the game, he was proud of the effort and the way he battled, despite maybe not having his best command.
The umpiring crew finds Sam Holbrook at the plate. Paul Emmel, Gary Darling, and Jerry Meals on the bases. Final game of the homestand, and it's Michael Bourne, a 158 hitter with 1 double so far. Michael is 1 for 7 in this series. He bunts it too hard to Carlos Lee. And he tags him. Well, he's out for running out of the baseline to avoid the tag. He may not have tagged him, but that's out number 1. Was pretty slick the way he danced around Carlos, though.
Trying to push that out towards second base, but couldn't get it far enough out. Hey, he ruled him out on a tag. He did not rule him out for leaving the baseline, and I don't know.
I'm sure he tagged him.
Oh, no, he did. He did at the end. He did say, Carlos trying to grab him with his bare hand. Get back here. Where the heck are you going?
Now here's Martin Prado.
Hold still, I can tag you.
That's ball 1 to Prado. Prado, a 250 hitter with 1 homer. He's driven in a couple. Wandy throws one in the zone for a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Prado. Braves were not hitting as they were swept in New York. They're 1-4, and they have scored 16 runs in their first 5 games. Prado 3 for 9 in this series. Wandy missing there, and the count goes to 2-1. In Wandy's career, he has a 3.25 ERA. Against the Braves, Freddie Gonzalez in his 6th season was at Florida before taking the Braves job. .507 winning percentage.
Freddie Gonzalez managed the first game ever in Marlin organizational history. Remember when they were an expansion team, they started with a minor league team in Erie, Pennsylvania, in the New York Penn League. And Freddie was the manager of that club a couple of years before the big league club ever got going.
Well, they developed a lot of fine talent. He was a part of that. Coming over near the line, Travis Buck. 2 outs. Now, Wandy is making his 11th career start against this Braves team with a 3-2 record of 3.25 ERA against Atlanta. The Braves seeing a lot of left-handed pitching. They have faced 3 left-handed starters in the first 5 games of the season. Another one tonight. They're scheduled to face 3 more lefties in the next 5 games. They play Milwaukee next. So they'll be facing 6 lefties in the first 9 games. Freddie Freeman shoots one left field. That's got some lift to it. Headed for the corner. And he bangs it off the top of the wall and heads into second base with that hard opposite field line drive for a double for Freeman.
Braves very vulnerable to left-handed pitching. Last year they had the lowest batting average in all of Major League Baseball against southpaws. They had a lot of left-handed hitters in the middle of their order. This one here, Freeman, does a nice job going the other way, just misses an opposite field home run.
Riner Cruz is in with a double, and here's Chipper Jones, who returned with a vengeance last night after opening the season on the disabled list. He had a single and a homer in his first two at bats off the DL. Chipper looks at ball one, so he continues to excel in games when he returns from the disabled list. Chip Carey, who's next door doing Braves TV, said he's come off the disabled list 10 different times during the season in which he's been hurt. He's hit .395 with 5 homers and 10 runs batted in those first 10 games back.
Should get hurt more often.
And he didn't even have a minor league rehab assignment. His mom and dad were here last night, probably here again tonight. And he'll be retiring after this season. What a great player down through the years for Atlanta. Bouncer past the mound. Marwin Gonzalez to his left. Quick throw. No runs, a hit. A man stranded. No score. Now the Astros come up with this starting lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Jordan Schaefer, the former Brave, is in center field, followed by Jose Altuve, J.D. Martinez, Carlos Lee. Travis Buck is in right field, batting fifth. It's Chris Johnson, Jason Castro, Marwin Gonzalez, and Wandy Rodriguez.
First start of the year for young right-hander Randall Delgado, 22 years of age. This is his 8th career start. The previous 7 all coming last year with the Braves. Baseball America says he's the 3rd best prospect in the Braves organization, an organization that's pretty prospect rich. Some very good arms over there. In the minor leagues, he has not been a winning pitcher, 23 and 39 in his career, despite a pretty good ERA of 3.56. Prado-born Hayward covered the outfield. Jack Wilson, we've seen him a bunch over the years with Pittsburgh. Very good defensively at short. Chippers over with Wilson on the left side, Uglin, Freeman on the right side, and the veteran catcher is David Ross.
They watch out at lefties at Union Station as Jordan Schaefer leads it off. Schaefer had 3 steals last night, 3 hits. There's ball 1. And he checks in for this game at .316 with a .381 on base average. That's a strike to even the count at 1-1. Sam Holbrook is behind the plate. Left-handed hitters hit only .196 last year in the big leagues against Delgado. That's in the air on the left side. Jack Wilson going out, peels off, and it's Martin Prado without number 1. Last night, Jordan Schaefer tried to lay one down on Chipper Jones as he led off the Astros first, and he tweeted about it today. I don't know what you people are hating for. Bunting is a part of baseball. I would never try and hurt Chip, but I'm trying to get on base. Chipper made the play and got him out.
So somebody accused him of foul play by Bunting on Chipper?
Evidently so. Jose Altuve rolls one out to Chipper.
Was it a opening softball game? The major leagues, man.
That's it. 2 outs. And Delgado, who's shown very good poise and polish, nonetheless has struggled to go beyond 5 innings in big league games last year. He has the first 2 outs easily, and it's J.D. Martinez, who's hit in all 5 Houston games to the tune of .333 for J.D. Fastball comes in, and it's good for strike 1. 94 miles per hour on that heater. Delgado was signed as a free agent in '06. He grew up in Panama. It's 1-1 with Carlos Lee on deck. The Braves have won 12 of their last 15 from the Astros, 6 of their last 8 here at Minute Maid Park. 2-1.
Good thing that was a ball.
Yeah, that looked pretty good, didn't it?
Because if it's a strike, it's a tough night for the hitter. If he can command that little run, little sink at 93. For the most part, what I've been told, his fastball is pretty straight. Doesn't really sink it.
Missed there with a close one, and it's 3-1. Delgado beat out Julio Teheran to join this major league pitching staff. Teheran failed to make the club, but he also is a very highly regarded prospect in the Braves system.
Be ready to swing it here.
He does. He rocks one to center field. Michael Bourne with a long look at this one because J.D. Martinez has banged one for a homer. Home run, J.D. Martinez, number 2 of the season. Up around the Conoco, Phillips pump. That has them going crazy, and it's 1-0 Houston as Martinez gets his 5th RBI. They went a little nuts.
Boy, just a good patient at bat. The 2 previous pitches, a lot of hitters would have offered on either one of those. The fastball that was called low, and then the next one just off the outside edge. But by laying off those pitches, he worked his way into a cripple count. 3-1, got a dead red fastball, and was all over it. Great at bat.
Powerful shot from J.D. Now Carlos Lee. He reached base all 5 times last night. There's strike 1. Martinez has hit in all 6 games for the Astros. Carlos at .389's in the top 10 in batting average in the National League. Bounces one slowly. The shortstop Jack Wilson comes in and takes care of out number 3. It's 1 run, 1 hit. The Astros get long ball number 6 in the first 6 games and lead at 1-0.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. Astros up 1-0, and it's time for our progressive fan of the game. And we got a birthday boy for our fan of the game this time around. He is Mike Tooley. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you very much.
How old are you?
55 today.
Happy birthday, Mike!
Okay. All right. We so choreographed that. But are you enjoying it?
Oh, I'm having a great time in Houston, yes.
How do you like the ballpark?
Beautiful park. My first time here, and I was looking forward to a very nice park, yes.
Now, you're from New York City?
I'm from upstate. I'm 7 hours north of New York City.
Okay, but you are a
Yankee fan.
Yankee fan. See, if he's a Mets fan, we got to kick him out. But he's a Yankees fan, so we're going to let it slide. What do you think of the ball team?
They're off to a good start. I know that. We're sort of keeping our eye on them because they're coming into the American League next year. So I'm a little bit of a scouting recruiting thing for my fantasy baseball league, which is American League only.
Now, I understand you are familiar with Jim Deshaies. You know Jim Deshaies or know of him?
I don't know Jim, but Jim's high school, he comes from a town called Messina, New York, and my high school in Ogdensburg, we're about 35 miles apart in high school rivalry during the years, and Jim was obviously an excellent pitcher at high school level.
He's a legend.
And certainly is a legend in our area, that's right.
Well, happy birthday, Mike. We really appreciate you being with us, and you are the progressive fan of the game.
That's right.
And an added bonus just for knowing the legend, Jim Deshaies. Guys, back to you.
He's an OFA Blue Devil.
Blue Devil.
Blue Devil, yeah.
Dan Douglas single through the left side. Now it's Jason Hayward taking strike one. 200 batting average with 2 runs batted in for Hayward. 1 for 4 last night, and he's 1 for 5 in this series. Double play depth for Gonzalez and Altuve. Wandy's curveball is top foul to Carlos Lee, and it's an 0-2 count with Ross on deck.
You know who's from Ogdensburg, New York, Brad?
No.
Besides that guy?
No.
Frederick Remington.
Who's he?
Famous Western artist.
Ah. Okay. Do you have any of his collection at all?
Can't afford it.
No balls, 2 strikes to Hayward. Astros starting pitchers have a 2.59 ERA in the early going. That's 4th best in the National League. 1-2.
Hayward showing incredible patience right there, not so much in taking the pitch, but in not stepping out prior to the pitch. A long time there before Wandy settled on what he was going to throw and started his delivery. Usually a hitter stands in that position for so long, they get out of sync, get out of rhythm. They want to step out, waggle the bat a little bit, tighten the batting gloves, and regroup.
Jason Hayward was born in New Jersey. Went to high school, though, in McDonough, Georgia. The Braves were scouting him and trying to keep him a big secret. They took him with the 14th overall pick in the first round in 2007. Listed at 6'5", 23 years old. This one gets away from Castro, and that will allow the advance to second of Uggla on the wild pitch.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Jason not able to keep it in front. It kicks away, and it makes it easy for Uggla to advance. Uggla, I think he got deked a little bit there by Marwin Gonzalez. He wasn't sure if there was going to be a play or not.
Ground ball up the middle and past the diving Altuve into center. That'll tie it at 1. RBI single, Hayward. Hit number 3 for the Braves. That's the 3rd RBI of this season for Hayward.
So the wild pitch allows the base runner to advance, takes the double play out of order. Not likely that would have been a double play ball anyway, but you would have been pinching a little bit more towards second base with Altuve if there was a man on first.
Brian McCann gets a rest tonight, and that means the catcher is David Ross. Very good number 2 catcher. Not only does he catch pretty well, but he hits. 35 years old. First at bat of the season for David Ross. McCann is a grinder, and he won't leave a lot of playing time if he's healthy this year for Ross. Ross hit 17 homers in 2007 for Cincinnati. at 300. .75 career long balls for David. He's from Bainbridge, Georgia. Then he went on to the University of Florida. Runner takes off, swing and a miss. The throw is in the dirt and safe. Altuve dug the throw, but Hayward was able to slide in with the stolen base.
Freddie Gonzalez forcing the action a little bit down towards the bottom of his batting order. They've had a hard time scoring runs so far in these early games, so we get some people in motion.
Ross's bat came around and Castro was headed towards second as the bat almost hit him. That's the second steal for Hayward to count 0-1 now on Ross.
Out of his crouch and reaching out for that ball. Catchers are taught to let the ball come to them because the ball's going to travel faster. If you keep your glove close to your body, it's going to get to you quicker and you're going to be in position to throw it more quickly than if you reach for it. And then you have to reach out with your throwing hand to pull it and make the throw.
Braves have an off day tomorrow, as do the Astros. They will have their home opener Friday against Milwaukee. That'll be a 6-game homestand for them. Their 47th season in Atlanta after moving from Milwaukee. Prior to that, they were in Wandy Rodriguez, opening day starter this season for the first time in his career. The lead man in this rotation coming around for the second time. The Astros, with the off day tomorrow, will travel to Miami, where they'll play 3 games over the weekend and then on to Washington for 4. Steven Strasburg pitched this afternoon for Washington and pitched extremely well at New York. Washington won it 4-0. Strasburg getting his first win, beating Johan Santana.
That's pitchers walked 10 men in that game. Well, we should get Strasburg on Monday then. Here's the matchups for the weekend series in Miami. Harrell and Nolasco. Carlos Zambrano is now Marlin. He draws Bud Norris, Anibal Sanchez, and Jay Happ for the matinee on Sunday.
From what we saw of that early series there, and there was one game with St. Louis and then they went on the road, but they had a couple of exhibition games there. Sounded like the new park is a pitcher's park. Struck him out looking for.
Yeah, Justin Maxwell, who's now with the Astros, was there for an exhibition game with the Yankees, and he said the park play is really big. He thrown him a changeup earlier in that sequence out there in that outside edge. This time he comes back with the heater.
Jack Wilson, who was with the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time, at 266 with 61 career homers, has 423 runs batted in. He has hit well down through the years against the Astros. Career average 305 against Houston. Jack's 34 now. There's ball 1. Last night it was Tyler Pasternicki starting at shortstop. Jack came in off the bench late. Pasternicki hit his first career major league homer last night.
Earned a night off because of it. It's a strange system they have here in the big leagues. Go deep, get a day off.
Yeah, it is. Pitcher Randall Delgado is on deck. This is Wilson's second start of the year. And of course, he was obtained over the winter as a free agent. He signed in January, and there were a lot of questions being asked around Atlanta who was going to be the starting shortstop. Would it be Pasternicki? And that was indeed the plan, but he had to win the job in spring training, which he did. But they have another young shortstop in waiting too, so Pasternicki's going to have to hang on to that job. And it's a 2-ball, no strike count. Nice to have a Wilson, though, as a security blanket, who probably is beyond everyday play status. He had 214 at bats last year, but a fine shortstop. Jack was drafted by the Cardinals back in '98. Altuve goes to second base, and Wandy steps back. The Astros, with their 3-2 start, a game and a half off the lead, tied for second in the early going in the NL Central. Foul back. It's the first time they've been over 500 as they've achieved that mark when they went 2-1 against Colorado since July of '09. They went 0-5 out of the chute last year, 0-8 to start 2010. 3-2 feels much better for Brad Mills. As for the Braves, they're looking up at, among others, Washington and the Mets. Both of those clubs 4-2.
What's gotten Wandy's attention out there, having already stolen second base, taking a fairly aggressive lead off of second, dancing around a little bit.
It's 3-1. Very, very pleasant night in downtown Houston tonight for the finale of this homestand. Last night, a lot of fun for the fans, with the Astros wearing those Colt 45s uniforms, and they'll do that again. Friday nights are a special treat this season with the retro uniforms every Friday night, and of course there have been fireworks after the Friday night games for years. That'll continue. Line to left field, J.D. Martinez taking care of out number 2. And Delgado will bat. We go to Greg Lucas.
Hey, you know, you can secure your tickets every Friday home game with the Flashback Friday 14 game plan presented by Papa John's. Each game will feature throwback jerseys, alumni first pitches, and a retro-themed firework display. This plan includes a 15th game free. Root now and visit Astros.com for tickets. And don't forget, when you get those tickets, get to the ballpark early to get your copy of the Flashback jersey.
Yeah, that's a great plan. A lot of people like to get out on Saturday night, take in a ball game. This one skips by the catcher Castro, and that allows Hayward to go to third base. For the second time, Wandy's thrown the ball past the catcher, or at least off to the side of the catcher in this inning.
See how Jason's lower side comes up instead of down, and he's not able to block that 5-hole. Has the glove kind of turned the wrong way.
Doug Brocail watches carefully. This was the first time the Astros had 4 straight quality starts to open a season since '97. Kyle Weiland failed to follow suit last night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kyle went 5 innings last night. He took the loss in the 6-4 Braves win. Delgado lunges at it. It's 1-2, but nonetheless, the Astros have gotten innings from their starting pitchers. Especially Lucas Harrell with 7 shutout. In the dirt on the curve, he swings and misses. Castro will tag him to complete strikeout number 2 and end the second inning, with the Braves getting a run on 2 hits, leaving a man to tie it 1-1.
play. Also a reminder about that Flashback Friday 14 game plan. Want to add a few notes. Of course, it's presented by Papa John's. And each game in this 14 game flashback plan will feature throwback jerseys, alumni first pitches, and that retro themed firework display. That 15th game is free. Root now, visit Astros.com for tickets. But again, I want to reiterate, you got to be among the first 10,000 for most of these throwback jerseys. So get your tickets and then make sure you're here for all the action.
Travis Buck, 28 years old, an outfielder who began his career in the Oakland organization. Then he played for Cleveland last year. Leads it off. 1-1 ball game as Buck takes strike one. Starting in right field with Brian Bogusevic resting tonight. Buck is 3 for 7. He has 2 runs batted in, 2 doubles and a triple for his 3 hits. And had a good spring to make the club. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 429 in the early going for Travis. He's making his first start in right field. Monday he started in left field. Delgado goes to 1-2 in the count. The Astros are the youngest team in average age in the National League. Only the Royals are younger in the major leagues. The Braves are the 4th youngest team in baseball this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Atlanta with a very young look in the starting rotation now until Tim Hudson returns. And the youngest is the guy we're looking at right now, Delgado, 22.
Ooh, good changeup.
Yes, it was. First strikeout.
That was the report. Compliments that plus fastball with a real good changeup. The breaking ball just so-so, but that's a winner right there. Well, I saw a note today. The Tampa Bay Rays have had 900 consecutive starts by pitchers 30 years of age or younger.
Yes. How about that?
Yeah.
James Shields is 30. Chris Johnson's on a 4-game hitting streak. Ball 1 to Chris. Chris played at Stetson University, and the coach for some of his time there was Chipper Jones' father, Larry. One ball, 1 strike.
Stetson's in Tampa, correct? Around there?
DeLand,
Florida.
1-2. Apparently Larry retired while Chris was there, and then a new coach took over for him. But he and the Jones family go way back. There's Larry, who really enjoyed, of course, Chipper's return to the lineup last night with 2 hits, including a homer.
Stetson Hatters.
Stetson Hatters. Strikeout, and that's number 2 in a row for Delgado.
Liberal use of that change up there.
You bet.
CJ, 2 or 3 of them. That's great action on him. We talked about his fastball being pretty straight, but that changeup, it looks like a forkball or something. It has all kinds of funkiness going on.
Got a question for you about that pitch in just a moment. Castro settling in first. He's 0 for 9. All right, if you've got the great changeup, as Delgado has shown that he does, do you want to keep that in your pocket for a while and establish the fastball early?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because I was never that good. I mean, I guess, if you throw 95 with great movement and you can live with that one time around the order, maybe. And then you have something you can break out a little bit later on if the hitters haven't seen. The problem, though, is if you haven't used the pitch and you need it in a big situation, it might not be there for you. So I've never been a believer in that philosophy of saving something. I know some guys do. I think I just take it one hitter at a time and whatever I need to do to get that guy out.
Well, he's thrown mid-90s on his fastball. Terrific changeup. Now, this guy could be somebody to watch here for many years for the Atlanta Braves, who have really had quality pitching down through the years.
Yeah, I think the Astros can work the pitch count a little bit if they're patient. That's what happened to him last year when he was first in the big leagues. 5 innings and 5 of his 7 starts, and he went 6 one other time and 4 the 7th time. So And he was working pitch counts up into the, up around 100, 80, 90, 100 pitches in those 5 innings of work. Obviously, a young kid like this, they're going to be very careful with him, maybe more so last year than this. But, that's always part of any manager's game plan anyways, to try to work the pitch count on a starting pitcher. Try to get him out of there so you can attack the soft underbelly of the long relief as opposed to the, in Atlanta's case, O'Flaherty, Venters, Kimbrell trifecta.
Yeah.
If the starter takes a lead into the 7th, this team is really hard to beat.
Yeah, the soft underbelly compared to those guys you mentioned there, the rock hard abs.
Yeah.
3-2 to Castro. Delgado threw 174 innings last year between AA Mississippi, AAA Gwinnett, and Atlanta.
He trusts his changeup.
Boy,
that's why.
They've seen a bunch, and he strikes out the side here in the 2nd inning with this ball game through 2 innings. Tied 1-1.
The field because it is time for AT&T Tribute. Keeping with our theme of firsts in the franchise with the Braves and the Astros, our question is very simple. When Houston beat the Braves for the first time ever on the 29th of April in '62, all 3 Colt 45 runs were hit by homers, were scored by homers. Who hit the homers? That's the question for Jim Deshaies and Bill Brown.
Solo homers in '62. Let's see. Bob Aspromonte.
That is one incorrect.
Hal Smith.
That is one correct. I'm saving the bell for the finale because if you keep naming names, you'll eventually get them.
Roman Mejias.
That is also correct. His actually was a walk-off to win the game. There is one left.
Al Spangler.
No. It'll take a while on this one, maybe. I'm trying to think of some clues.
Bob Lillis.
Well, you know that one had to be wrong.
Carl Warwick.
No. His last name, I think they used to, there was a company that made outdoor type shirts. Outdoor kind of shirts.
Carlos Lee steps on first as he grabs the grounder, but it's called foul.
Eddie Bauer.
Well, you're in the right direction. I'll give you his first name, Jim.
Pendleton.
Jim Pendleton. Hey, we got it.
The bells will ring for thee. That is correct.
20 guesses. It's the home plate umpire's call, and he called it foul.
Wow.
But the fans are buzzing right now after the Sam Holbrook foul ball call. And you see Paul Emmel there, but he's deferring to Holbrook.
Carlos is asking, well, what'd you have? And of course, he's going to say, I had it foul too, Carlos. However, if Sam wanted to, he could ask Emmel for a little help. He's like, well, what'd you think?
Strikeout of Michael Bourne. That's 3 for Wandy.
No food up there, Michael.
Now we'll take a look again. When the Astros beat the Braves for the first time ever, 3 runs scored by homers who hit them. Hal Smith, Jim Pendleton, and Roman Mejias in the last of the ninth won it. That was off Don McMahon. The first two were hit off Lou Burdett.
Ooh. Martin Prado's the batter. He hit the fly ball to right. There's ball one. Well, on this date in 1962, Hal Woodeshick and Dick Farrell combined for Houston's first shutout. 2-0 over the Cubs. And the only run scored on a first inning single by Hal Smith, who was here last night.
And of course, that was the first year for the 45s, and the Cubs, well, Cubs kind of underestimated, and they finished 10th. The Astros, or the Colt 45s, finished 8th.
Yeah, that was
actually,
pretty
they finished
respectable.
9th. Actually, the Mets were 10th.
Yeah. Well, then, of course, they won another game from that Cubs series to sweep the series. With Dean Stone pitching that one. There's a ground ball to shortstop, and Marwin Gonzalez takes care of out number 2. So the Astros broke out 3 lefties, and they stopped the Cubs and swept that series. And kind of that same feel for this game tonight as Jay Happ started Monday night, and he beat Atlanta. And now another lefty, Wandy Rodriguez, going in this series. Freddie Freeman rocked a double off the left field scoreboard wall in the first inning. Marlins are at Philadelphia. It's in tight, ball one, and it's 6-1 Phillies after 4. Roy Halladay is pitching. Josh Johnson started for Florida.
That's what you get when you hit an opposite field bullet off the wall.
Now this one will go foul outside the opposite field.
Well, Freeman doing a nice job here tonight. He struck out his first 3 at bats last night. Went 0 for 5 on the night. He's pulling off a lot of pitches, and with the lefty out there, I think he's kind of got himself in the mindset, I'm going to make sure I keep that front side in and really take a middle of the park other way approach. Doesn't mean he's not going to ever pull the ball, but I think his thinking is make sure you stay inside the ball.
Curve works for a strike. It's 1-2. Right there on the corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Freddie Freeman last year hit 282. Finishing second in Rookie of the Year balloting to his teammate Craig Kimbrell. He had 21 homers and drove in 76. In tight, and it's now 3-2.
Year before, Jason Hayward was runner-up in the Rookie of the Year award, so they've been all over that Rookie of the Year ballot the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they've been cranking out the rookies, haven't they? And they've got those 2 of the 3 bullpen guys you mentioned were turned out by the Braves farm system, Kimbrell and Venters. And now, you know, we look at Delgado tonight has come up through their system, so they just continue to bring outstanding young players to the big leagues, developed in a homegrown fashion. Grounded foul outside first base. Well, talking about development, the Astros AAA club Oklahoma City is off to a nice start, 5-1 with a 5-game winning streak. And Telvin Nash has been lighting it up at Class A Lancaster in the California League, a first baseman outfielder. He hit 2 homers in a game last night for the 2nd time already this season. He has 5 homers and 8 runs batted in 6 games. Still 3-2.
He's got a pretty good chance to be player of the week in that league, doesn't he?
Does.
George Springer, last year's #1 pick, has been lighting it up.
Yeah.
Austin Waits is hitting about 550. Now he's down to 500.
Down to 500.
Down to 500.
He's in a slump. Well, Dan Radisson, who's going to look at the minor league clubs this year, was in uniform tonight before this game. We'll see him occasionally. And he just came from Corpus Christi and was raving about those players there. 50 pitches for Wandy Rodriguez. This will be the 10th to Freeman in this at bat. And he got it. Strikeout number 4. Wandy has a 1-2-3 third. That's 6 straight retired for him. And the game in the middle of the third is tied 1-1. Randall Delgado struck out the side in the second inning with a lot of change-ups in that frame.
Yeah, he really showed a very impressive feel for his off-speed pitch, and when you got a 94-mile-an-hour heater, it makes it that much more difficult to contend with. And then that is the one that really impressed me the most, with Castro up there 3 balls and 2 strikes, knowing that if Castro was able to lay off, he would have walked him, but he had enough confidence in the deceptive nature of his changeup that he was likely going to get a swing and miss if he made his pitch, and that's exactly what happened.
Those are the numbers, the pitching lines for Delgado and Rodriguez, and it's Marwin Gonzalez with Wandy Rodriguez on deck. Marwin has played well in his first 5 games in the big leagues. Here's strike 1 to the rookie shortstop, a .294 hitter with 1 RBI. Jed Lowry should be returning to the club if everything goes well tonight in Oklahoma City. On Friday night in Miami. Jed drove in a couple of runs last night, and he's due to play 9 innings tonight. But it's been a nice look at Marwin Gonzalez while Jed has been out with a sprained right thumb.
Yeah, he has proven to be a very good plan B.
He not only plays shortstop, he'll play second base. He can probably play third. So he will bring that kind of flexibility to Brad Mills' bench when he's not in the lineup. 2 balls and a strike. He's gone 4 for 7 with an RBI in this series. And he has started the first 6 games at short for the Astros this year. Bounce to Chipper Jones. 1 down. And Wandy Rodriguez will come up.
Chipper well positioned there to eat up that ground ball. That's what happens once a guy establishes a good changeup the way Delgado has. Now he'll start to get some late swings at his fastball. You have to respect that change.
Wandy's 0 for 2 at the plate. Strike 1.
To me, like he may be more effective against lefties than righties because of that changeup.
Rolled out to shortstop. Jack Wilson. 2 outs. Greg?
Hey, be sure to collect all 6 of the Astros' greatest moments bobbleheads in 2012. You can guarantee your ticket to all 6 nights with the Bobblehead Night 6-game plan. Plans start at only $30, but remember, they do not guarantee receipt of a bobblehead, so be sure to arrive early. I always urge fans to make sure to do that. Root for your favorite moments and visit Astros.com for tickets.
We were hearing that there were some 5,000 tickets sold yesterday for that game last night on the day of the game. Jordan Schaefer led off the game with a fly ball to left for the Astros anyway, and showing bunt, he takes ball 1. It was a gorgeous day. A lot of people got out early yesterday for the unveiling of the Walk of Fame. Stayed for the ball game last night. Saw those Colt 45 uniforms. Another spectacular night tonight.
Yeah, appears to be a pretty good crowd too.
Yes, it does.
Fair number of folks in the upper tank.
The Astros will be gone for a week and then back for a weekend series at the end of the month with the Dodgers. Just 3 games on that homestand.
Speaking of Dodgers Astros, a couple booths to our right. Don Sutton in town with the Braves. This is the anniversary of Don's debut with the Astros back in '81.
Oh.
Pitching for the Dodgers for 15 years. Joined the Astros. Went 11-9 in '81, 13-8 in '82 before moving on to the Brewers.
That was all right because Kevin Bass came in return in that trade. Line shot into right center field. Schaefer hustling out of the box, and he'll take the big turn. Hayward gets it back in on a single for Schaefer. Hit number 2 for Houston.
He got 3 bags last night, and I kind of believe he'll be looking to try to take advantage and steal a base here with 2 outs in the inning. Good hustle, busting it down the line, looking for any little bit of a miscue out there in the outfield to take second base, but Hayward played it aggressively, so he slammed on the brakes.
Altuve grounded out on the first pitch. There's the throw. Schaefer was running last night, stealing all 3 bases he attempted. First time he had 3 steals in a game in the majors. So now he ranks second in steals, 3 out of 4. That Dodgers series here at home starts the 20th, not the end of the month, as I said. End of the month, that series starts with the Mets on the 30th. But if you're lining up tickets, a week from Friday, the Dodgers are here, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and that game on the 20th, part of the Friday package that Greg talked about. And Larry Durker will be throwing out the first pitch. Altuve looks at a strike. 1-1. Altuve has a .444 on base average for the first few games. It's a heck of a pace. It's been on in all 4 of his games. And going back to last year, he's reached base safely in 10 straight games. He's had 18 plate appearances, and he's been on base in 8 of those, including 3 walks. He had 5 walks last year in 234 plate appearances with Houston. 2-1.
Delgado has picked up his pace of his delivery. I still think it'd be a good idea for Schaefer to try to go. This would be a good pitch here on 2-1. I'm not going to pitch out.
Yankees and Baltimore are tied 2-2 after 4. Curtis Granderson hit his first home run. Chipper Jones charges, and the throw gets Altuve. It's no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. After 3, it's Atlanta 1, Houston 1. Top of the 4th inning comes for Wandy Rodriguez, who's retired 6 in a row. Chipper Jones, Dan Uggla, and Jason Hayward to bat. Chipper grounded out to shortstop his first time up. There's ball 1. He has had fantastic numbers here at Minute Maid Park, with 33 runs batted in 39 games here. Up the middle, that one rolls past Marwin Gonzalez into center field, and Chipper Jones, who's hit almost 400 in this ballpark, picks up another hit. He's the top player drafted in 1990, ahead of Tony Clark, Mike Lieberthal, Alex Fernandez, and Kurt Miller.
No, Kurt Miller. Those other guys went on to have nice major league careers.
That's true.
Not as good as Chipper. And the Astros have that #1 pick this June, so maybe they've got a Chipper Jones in their future. 304 lifetime batting average for Chipper, exactly 304 from both sides of the plate.
Dan Douglas singled and scored first time up. There's ball one. Now you were looking at Mickey Mantle's splits today.
I got thinking about it. I was looking at Chipper's numbers, so I looked at Mantle, and Mantle, surprisingly to me anyway, was a much better from the right side. 330 lifetime batting average for Mantle as a right-handed hitter, a 281 on left.
1-1 to Ugla. Dan Ugla made a fantastic catch during batting practice tonight, playing catch with Chipper Jones over by the batting cage to save the ball from hitting Jim Crane, the Astros owner, standing just a few feet away. Bouncer in the hole. Marwin Gonzalez drops it. Runners at first and second, nobody out. He was trying to get his feet in the right position for a quick throw, and he dropped it.
Yeah, it's trying to slide over in front of that ball. He was going to be in a vulnerable position to make a play anyway because he was back on his heels. He might have been better off trying to backhand this ball. Now he's thinking, got to be quick, got to be quick, got to be quick, and then he's thinking, doesn't matter now.
That's an error on Gonzalez, his first. Runners at first and second for Hayward. Hayward has an RBI single tonight. There's strike one. It's the Astros' 5th error of the season. They made 4 opening night. In tight, almost hit him, and it's 1-1. It's been a crazy homestand for errors, with 4 by Houston Friday night, 3 by Colorado Saturday night, with the Astros winning 7-3. And on Sunday there was only 1 total error, but Atlanta made 4 errors Monday night and lost to Houston 8-3. Usually you don't see that many errors in a homestand. 1-1. Into right field. Chipper Jones stopping at third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out as Travis Buck gets it back in.
They were 2 for 2 now. So Wandy in a bit of a pickle here. But if he can get David Ross to hit the ball on the ground, he could get 2 outs that way and clean things up. And then after Ross, it's light hitting Jack Wilson, then the pitcher's spot. So it's not that bleak.
Okay. Well, he struck out Ross looking in the second inning. Ross has 2 grand slams, first time up this year with the bases loaded. Or he could strike out Ross again here and then get Wilson to hit into a double play. There's strike one.
Oh, he was thinking grand slam. He pulled off.
Or he could get Ross to hit into a triple play.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just talking possibilities here. CC Sabathia is going for the Yankees tonight against Jake Arrieta in that 2-2 game. Foul ball makes it 0-2. Now, are you going for the strikeout here if you're Wandy? What are you going to do?
I am.
Okay.
Get the jump on a hitter like this. You know, if you're a real sicker baller guy and you can command that pitch, or you feel really sure you're going to get a ground ball, you probably go with that. But that's not Wandy's game. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's going to try to get him to chase a breaking ball in the dirt. Maybe he doesn't trust his catcher to block it, so he might take a shot way up with a fastball. Those are the things he's thinking about right now. I'm just waiting for Jason to get there. And he ultimately did. You see a series of signs from Jason and finally came around to the high fastball. Now they're going to start all over again and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Normally you don't want, with a guy in second base, when you're on the mound and then the catcher signals with his hand the way Jason did, let's throw a high fastball. You're always kind of paranoid that the guy in second base might be tipping the hitter off, and you would never make that motion, throw it up here with a curveball or a changeup or anything like that. So
Well, in fact, there was a story in the paper that apparently was the accusation from Yankees catcher Russell Martin. I can't remember who the other
Andino.
Yeah,
Robert Andino of the Orioles, but that's what you're supposed to do if you're Robert Andino.
Right. Fly ball driven deep right center field. A long run for Schaefer, and that's in for extra bases. Chipper Jones home to score. Ugla's around third. Throw comes in to the plate, and Ugla just trots in with run number 2 of the inning. And Ross winds up with a 2-run double. Ugla was in no big rush to score that run, and the Astros threw into the plate. But Ross drives in a couple with his first hit of the season.
Clearly a frustrated Wandy Rodriguez because he had the jump on David Ross and just couldn't finish him off. Take a look at it pitch by pitch. Starts the sequence very good. Ross pulls off that 2-seam fastball, then fouls another one. So Wandy's got the jump on him. He just made a bad pitch. It's a change-up or a backdoor breaking ball, but it's not where you want to throw an 0-2 pitch in that situation. And again, maybe he just didn't feel comfortable throwing something down in the dirt for fear that it would squirt by Jason. I'm not sure. A lot of times it's just a matter of not executing the pitch. It wasn't so much the pitch decision, but the pitch execution.
The infielders come in with runners at second and third, nobody out. Jack Wilson, the batter, he lined out to left earlier. 3-1 Braves. And it's strike one. Braves have 6 hits.
We talked about this the other night with Brad Mills. He's going to be a little unconventional at times this year, both in the way he operates on when his team is hitting in terms of forcing the action and also defensively, because this is a situation where a lot of times the manager wouldn't pull his infield in with 2 men in scoring position. Base hit scores 2 here in all likelihood, and nobody out in the inning. So it's kind of an aggressive play defensively. It's a risky play, but that's the MO for the Astros this year. They're going to take some chances, and understandably so. I don't feel like they match up with a lot of the other clubs man for man.
Bunted on a squeeze and no play at the plate. And the Braves lead it 4-1. Hayward scoring as Wilson gets the bunt down, giving him a sacrifice and his second RBI.
Speaking of unconventional, how about that? A nobody out suicide squeeze. You almost never see that. Squeeze typically a 1-out play. We feel like we got to get this run home. But no outs, as a hitting team, usually with no outs, you still feel like we've got a great chance to have a big inning here. We're not going to sacrifice anything. We're just going to keep swinging. But Wilson being such a good handler of the bat, not the hitter he once was. Freddie Gonzalez confident he could get the bunt down. Certainly the element of surprise in their favor there with nobody out.
Now Delgado bats with the infield in. And not only did Wilson score Hayward, but he moved Ross to third base on a very productive out number 1 for the Braves.
So when there's nobody out in the inning, when you're hitting, you don't feel like you have to sacrifice anything. We're just going to keep swinging. Squeeze play ultimately is a sacrifice. You're giving up and out. Here comes another
squeeze, and he fouled it.
This would be a more typical squeeze situation with 1 out. They got the pitcher up there in the infield end. The pitcher can't hit a lick. Doesn't look like he can anyway. Nosey looks a little agitated over there. I'm wondering if he was trying to get a pitch out called or something prior to that pitch. He just had that look about him like he was a little agitated.
Sure did. All these squeezes at the juice box tonight here at Minute Maid Park. And that one took on the look of a squeeze, but it's not. Wandy dropping the ball, now throwing late and safe at first. On the error by Wandy Rodriguez.
Wow. Crazy inning this is becoming. Man, he almost hit a rocket back to the mound with that bunt attempt. It was not a squeeze play. I don't know if Delgado missed a sign, if it was a safety squeeze where Ross was just reading it off the bat. Wandy probably in panic mode because he thought the guy was coming down the line.
Nobody warming up at the bullpen. Brad Mills out to the mound. That's Wandy's second error.
Well, yeah, he wants this. This is a play. This is the first and third situation with one out. And now you got Michael Bourne up there, another really good bunter. So all kinds of options for Freddie Gonzalez. Managers love this situation to put a little safety squeeze on. And so Brad is out there talking to his guys as how he wants this play defended.
Freddie Gonzalez probably thinking we might as well stick with a bunt the way this inning's going. Small ball has turned into large problems. Wandy allowing 6 hits and 4 runs in 3 1/3. 68 pitches in, and now it's Bourne who's 0 for 2. Chris Johnson's in on the grass at third. Line shot caught by Gonzalez. Tough luck there from Michael Bourne. He's 0 for 3 tonight. 2 outs.
Yeah, the bunt has been great in this inning, but the line drive not so much. Bourne hit it on the screws for an out.
Now the infielders drop back. And it's Martin Prado. He hit a fly ball to right and he grounded to short. Arizona leads 1-0 after 7 at San Diego behind Joe Saunders.
They are the only undefeated team in baseball, the Diamondbacks. Tigers got beat for the first time today.
Ball 1.
Justin Verlander took a 1-hitter into the 9th inning, I believe. And then the Rays came back and beat them 4-2.
Jose Valverde having problems in that one. Verlander took the loss. Former Tiger Fernando Rodney got his 3rd save for Tampa Bay. It's 2-0. So Verlander and his first start wound up with what, the blown save by Valverde, I think. So just has not had things work out after he's left the game this year. He wound up allowing 4 hits and 4 earned runs in 8 1/3, but yeah, it all cascaded down around him late. 3-0. 72 pitches for Wandy Rodriguez.
And a whole bunch of them this inning.
Yeah. Now a 4-pitch walk, and Freeman will be the 9th Brave to bat in the inning. Freeman has doubled to left and he is struck out.
Nobody throwing, but moving around now in the Astros bullpen.
Well, the Braves, who had hit 157 against lefties coming into this game, having a chance to put a crooked number up here with 3 runs home in the 4th. Giving Delgado some working room. There's strike 1. Well, Paul Clemens had another good start for Oklahoma City last night. 5 innings, 1 unearned run. No balls and 2 strikes. Jonathan Singleton played left field last night for Corpus Christi. He went 2 for 4. It's 1-2 to Freeman. The Astros and Braves don't meet again until August. August 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Atlanta.
That should be pleasant.
This inning certainly was not pleasant for Wandy. He does get strikeout number 5, but along the way, the Braves pick up 3 runs, and they build a 4-1 lead.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Love bacon? Then try the new BLT cheeseburger combo right now at Jack in the Box for just $4.99 plus tax. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
It's a gorgeous night here. Nice wind coming through Minute Maid Park. The Atlanta Braves scoring 3 in the top of the 4th inning with the help of 2 Houston errors. One of those 3 runs unearned. And now the Astros try to bring it back with Martinez, Lee, and Buck due to come up in the bottom of the 4th inning against the young man in the Braves starting rotation, Randall Delgado. He's 22. Brandon Beachy and Tommy Hansen are 25. Mike Minor's 24. Jair Jurgens 26. The oldest starter currently for the Braves, but Tim Hudson, who's 36, is on the DL. There's ball 1 to Martinez, who rifled a homer to left center in the first.
Someday will we be talking about this group of young Braves hurlers the way we talk about Glavine and Smoltz?
It's a fair question.
Steve Avery, so good when he first came up.
He was.
Wanted to have the careers those other guys did. Of course, Maddox joined the party later on.
Inside for a ball. It's 2-1. Delgado's been given this 3-run lead now. Braves have an off day tomorrow, so they're ready to shoot the works with their bullpen if they have to. 3-1. I'd rather see Delgado stay in for a while.
This is interesting. This is exactly where he was with JD back in the bottom of the first, and he threw him a fastball right down the middle. And JD knocked it out of here. Did it again.
Yeah. Well, with a 3-run lead.
Right. Yep. I mean, the situation called for it in the first, too. It's with 2 outs in the first inning. You don't want to start nibbling. And he challenged him and paid the price. This time he challenged him, and JD was a little tardy.
Ball 4 this time. JD takes his first walk of the year, and that's walk number 1 of the night for Delgado.
See, that's why I think Delgado's better against lefties than righties, because I think if JD were up there left-handed, I think he would have seen the changeup in either one of those last 2 pitches. I still think he feels as comfortable throwing his changeup for right-handed hitters as he does to lefties, because it drifts away from the lefties and in on the righties. You make more mistakes with that right-on-right changeup typically than you would right-on-left.
Carlos Lee takes one down the chute, strike 1. He bounced to short in the first inning. Last year, Delgado threw only 35 innings for the Braves. He walked 14, fanned 18 at the major league level. That goes foul. Upper tank.
Wow. He was quick, boy. He was really quick on that fastball that was in. Far enough in where it would have been very difficult to keep it fair. This is the Battle of Panama here.
Yeah.
Young Panama and old Panama.
The all-time Panamanian home run leader at the plate against a 22-year-old right-hander.
A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. We did throw it right on right, and that was a dandy.
Boy, it was. And he got a strikeout. Out number 1. That's his 4th strikeout. That one dipped downward. You'll see it here. Caught by Ross just above ground level. On a foul tip.
Where are those folks?
They're way out in center field in the Coca-Cola area.
It's like a nice place to hang out.
Yeah, we've never been there, have we? Strike 1 to Buck. Beautiful view. We're looking right down into it.
Featuring their Backy jersey.
Brandon Backy.
You know you're far away when you got that viewfinder thing. You're looking at the top of the Empire State Building.
Backy pitched some big games here. Playoff games. Division clinching games. Or wild card clinching game. Foul ball by Buck. Keeps the count at 0-2.
It was fun to watch pitch. So competitive out there.
He was usually at his best when the stakes were highest. Looking through the Coke bottle.
He's probably in some rec league. He's probably got a game tonight.
Yeah.
Playing softball or something.
He's too competitive to be doing nothing now. In tight for ball 1. It's 1-2 to Travis Buck. Brad Mills giving Buck a couple of starts here on this homestand. Once resting J.D. Martinez, and tonight resting Brian Bogusevic. Make sure he keeps all of his players involved in the action. And that's strikeout number 5. Oh, the changeups have been strikeout pitches tonight. I think all of his strikeouts have come on changeups, J.D.
Yeah, if not all of them, at least 4 of them. And then it gets even tougher sometimes when there's a man on base and he tries to work a little more quickly and he kind of jumps at you. And he's still able to make a good pitch with the changeup. Sometimes when pitchers do that, they'll end up hanging the pitch because their body will get way out in front and the arm will drag, but that hasn't been the case with Delgado.
In the dirt, that's blocked by Ross. Ball 1 to Chris Johnson. CJ's a .325 career hitter against Atlanta. He likes the clubhouse feel this year. Thinks the players are really together. And they've spent a lot of time together in workouts over the winter and spring training. Breaking pitch in for a strike, 1-1. Chris, of course, had his own personal challenges when he was sent down last year along with Brett Wallace to Oklahoma City. He came back. He feels that he is better focused now. A lot of room on the right side of the infield.
It could be a fun situation for a young player to be on a team with a bunch of other young guys that are in the same boat trying to establish themselves in the big leagues. The difficulty is for the veteran guys, the guys that have been in the league for a few years. Usually, once you've been around for a while, you just want to win. You want to be on a championship team or at least on a contender. And the idea of just being young and having fun, it doesn't appeal to you as much. And that's the challenge for the old guys to buy in. This is the team in transition. Our job is to help nurture that, bring them along. I want to play for a contender, play well enough that a contender comes knocking on my door at the trade deadline.
Looping liner into left field. He got the bat through on a pitch that looked like it was in on him, and Johnson has a 5-game hitting streak. Hit number 3 for the Astros.
Yeah, running fastball, moving down and in. He's pretty good in there.
Yeah.
Seems to get a lot of hits like that.
Very quick bat with 2 strikes. Now 2 men on for Castro, and this would be a great spot for Jason's first hit of the season. 0 for 10. 2-out knock could go a long way for the Houston cause. Braves lead in hits 6-3. The Astros have both the errors tonight.
You don't want to be that guy a couple weeks into the season where everybody around the baseball world is saying, hey, so-and-so's 0 for 2012 still.
Did you happen to see any of the Mets game today when Ike Davis came up?
Yeah, I saw his hit. He was, what, 0 for 18 or 19?
Yes, 0 for 18 with 9 strikeouts, facing Strasburg, and he got a hit. But you're right. Yeah, that can wear on you because the media is coming in after every game asking you, when do you think you'll get your first hit anyway? 2-0, and Castro is pretty patient. He's been ahead in the count in several at-bats this season. Mike Barnett, the hitting coach, said he thought in the pregame drills inside in the cage before they got out on the field today that Jason had figured something out. He was kind of lunging, and he said now today he's been staying back better.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Delgado really challenged with the fastball. We'll come back with that change.
Oh, he clipped the corner.
A little two-seamer, a little runner.
That's a good pitch. 2-1. Marwin Gonzalez on deck. Right there where the mitt was. Target inside this time, but he misses on it, and it's 3-1.
Feel pretty good if your first knock of the year was a 3-run game-tying home run.
Oh.
And this would be a situation where I think you'd be willing to look foolish. If you cheat on a heater, if he throws you a changeup and you look bad, so what? Still got one to play with.
Ball 4. That works to load the bases for Marwin Gonzalez. Second walk of the inning for Delgado, who's done anything but take the 3-run lead to the bank. Thrown a lot of pitches here. Roger McDowell out while we take a look at who's hot and who's not. David Freese, oh, he's been just ripping it. 12-27, opposite field drives. 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. How about Miggy Cabrera and the move to third base? That hasn't derailed his hitting at all. Bonifacio next up for the Astros this weekend, 421. Brandon Belt, not so good. And the closers for Boston, Melanson and Aceves with a 31.50 ERA.
Sox loses again today to Toronto 3-1. Boston now 1-5. Ricky Romero beat John Lester in that pitcher's duel. It's 3 hits apiece for each club in that one.
Marwin Gonzalez grounded out to third in the 3rd inning. Bases loaded for Gonzalez. He's 4 for 8 in this series, taking strike 1. Wandy Rodriguez is on deck. Nobody working in the Astros bullpen with the Braves up by 3. Ricky Romero won for Toronto over Boston 3-1, handing John Lester his first loss. Sergio Santos saved it. Now it's 1-1. Bases loaded with J.D. Martinez at third base. Chris Johnson at second. Jason Castro at first.
The advantage Gonzalez has here, even though he's got the pitcher on deck and there's 2 outs, he doesn't have to be overly aggressive because a walk brings home a run. And a lot of times the 8-hole hitter with a man on second base in this situation would be pretty aggressive, willing to go out of the strike zone to try to drive that run home with the pitcher on deck. Not the case with the bases loaded.
Now 2-1. And that pitch was not close.
A lot of pitchers, and especially inexperienced pitchers, Delgado starting to fear contact a little bit here with men on base.
Gonzalez at AAA Iowa had 16 walks, 21 strikeouts in 197 at bats there last year. Fly ball, right field, headed for the line, hooking, and foul.
He's thrown a lot of good changeups. That was a hanger. He just sat there for Marwin a little too quick.
Two balls, two strikes. 70 pitches for Delgado. That's how many Wandy Rodriguez has thrown, through 4. Fastball tied him up. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Astro hitters have basically been able to disregard the breaking pitch from Delgado here tonight. He's thrown a few, but hasn't really established it as a good weapon. It's been fastball, changeup. Certainly so for the left-handed hitters.
Marwin Gonzalez chokes up on that bat, as you can see, and that gives him good bat control. He's been fairly tough to strike out in the minor leagues. And flicks that one foul. Well, there aren't a lot of players who choke up the way he does.
Barry Bonds did.
It worked pretty well for him.
A hitter who's protecting against the changeup is capable of getting to the outside fastball better than the heater in. There's a breaking ball.
Grounded, and Ugla's there for the 3rd out. So the Astros threaten, but it's no runs, 1 hit, 3 men stranded after 4. The Braves are up 4-1.
Game break. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Finals from the National League. Cincinnati avoided the sweep of St. Louis. 4-3 the final score as Joey Votto had a 4-hit day. He scored the game winner on Chris Heisey's RBI single in the bottom of the 9th inning. Reds went 3-3 on their opening 6-game homestand. Now they leave town for 10 away from Cincinnati. Steven Strasburg pitched 6 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball as the Washington Nationals beat the Mets 4-0. Johan Santana, his 2nd start since having surgery 19 months ago. He got the start, pitched well for the Mets, but not well enough. And Milwaukee knocks off the Cubs 2-1 the final score. Yabani Gallardo and Ryan Dempster hooking up in that pitcher's duel. Gallardo getting the better of it in one final that just came down. Arizona loses for the first time. San Diego knocking them off by a score of 2-1. That's been your Mazda game break. Brownie, JD, back to you guys.
Thanks, Kevin. Bringing us up to date there. Right here, it's 4-1. Atlanta leading, top of the 5th inning. Wandy Rodriguez coming out. He was in the on-deck circle when the 4th inning ended. Bases loaded. Gonzalez grounding out. Now, with Wandy due up in the bottom of the 5th inning, if he can mow down the Braves here, the Astros could make a bullpen move by using a pinch hitter at that point. He's got Chipper Jones, Ugla, and Hayward due up here in the 5th. Jones 1 for 2, scored a run, reached on a single, and then advanced around. as the Braves scored 3 runs on 3 hits with 2 Houston errors in the 4th. Bounce by Wandy. And a good play there by Altuve. If nothing else, if Wandy can get a 1-2-3 5th inning, finishing on a positive note after that sloppy 4th, maybe that gets him going toward a better result in his next start, which will be at Washington.
Pitch count at 79.
Ugla has scored twice, high to left field. J.D. Martinez back. 2 outs quickly here for Wandy. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd, but has had hits in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th inning. And now it's Hayward. Hayward had 2 of those hits, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th, and he scored a run and driven in a run, stolen a base. 80 pitches for Wandy.
Hayward's so good his rookie year. Dramatic drop off last year. With, shoulder problems.
Oh, they were raving about him, coming up with all kinds of projections after that rookie season. Fly ball out to left center field, back toward that gap, and J.D. Martinez gets back for the 3rd out. So Wandy disposes of the Braves on only 4 pitches in the 5th inning, and he's due up first in the bottom of the 5th with a score 4-1 Atlanta.
Fifth with the Braves leading at 4-1. Time to remind you that Astros baseball is always better with a group. There's a group up there right now, as a matter of fact. Groups of 20 or more receive great discounted rates. Fundraising options are available, and ticket and food packages start at only $10 a person. So get your group together and visit Astros.com for the information. You have one of those good eating groups like that one upstairs.
Guy looks like Steve Sparks a little bit right there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of a Sparky look like.
A little bit. Great time. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Wandy Rodriguez will leave for the pinch hitter, Brian Bixler. Riner Cruz is working in the bullpen. Bixler 1 for 5 with the Astros. He got a start earlier on this homestand. There's strike 1 to Brian. Bixler, a veteran who's been a part of a couple of different major league organizations. And he rips that one foul. Handyman who can play just about anywhere.
Saw him with Pittsburgh in 2008 and 09, and then last year He was a Washington National for 79 ball games.
Wandy Rodriguez in 5 innings led 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. He had 1 walk, struck out 5. And that's a strikeout looking on Bixler. Wandy threw 82 pitches, 53 for strikes. Delgado gets strikeout number 6.
Yeah, I kind of thought Wandy would come out for maybe 1 more inning. I'm not sure what transpired. Maybe a conversation in the dugout. Maybe starting to tire a little bit. Not that it's unusual that you would pinch hit for your pitcher when you're down 4-1 after 5 innings, but when it's your lead guys, you're supposed to be your number 1 guy. Usually you lean on him a little more heavily.
Schaefer fouls it back, strike 1. He's 1 for 2. Brand new playoff structure this year in Major League Baseball. The first time that structure, as you see Riner Cruz warming up, has changed since '94. The second wild card team introduced into each league. Bunted. Chipper Jones, bare hands, drops it. Now this time it works for Schaefer. He tested Chipper last night, leading off the game. Chipper got him. This time he reaches on the bunt to Chipper. After a Twitter exchange with some fans.
Wow. So take that, fans. Do or die play. This time Chipper cannot get the handle. A little push bunt there from Jordan Schaefer. 3-hit night last night. That's his 2nd hit tonight.
He's aboard for Altuve. That's 4 hits for the Astros now. Altuve twice has grounded out to Chipper. Shoots that one foul for strike 1. Even though Altuve has been reaching base at a better clip in the early going than he did last year, and he's been taking more pitches, it doesn't mean he won't swing at the first pitch. That's the 2nd time tonight he swung at the first pitch. If it's in his zone, he's going to go for it. Now 0-2 though. Altuve has only struck out once in 16 at bats. Yankees 4, Baltimore 4. They're in the top of the 7th. It's 1-2 for Delgado. Delgado, fastball at 92 that time, has thrown 81 pitches. He struck out 6. And the throw goes over to first. And the Braves, of course, losing out on a playoff spot last year in the final day of the season. Well, now there will be an additional playoff team in each league. Very interesting to see how that goes this season. That one bounces and Schaefer takes off. Here's the throw high and late. And Schaefer got rolling immediately when he saw that ball hit the dirt in front of Ross.
And anticipate that ball in the dirt, especially with Delgado throwing all those changeups down below the knees tonight. He spiked that one.
Sure did. Chad Durbin's warming up for the Braves. And looks as if Delgado not only is losing a few miles per hour, but tiring. 82 pitches in. JD Martinez on deck. Really shouldn't be tired though after 82 pitches, right, JD?
Shouldn't be.
Bouncer into right field. Schaefer is stopped at third by Dave Clark. Short throw there for Hayward. And it's 1st and 3rd. 1 out as Altuve singles. And Martinez comes up.
Of course, if you throw a lot of pitches in any given inning, it's like a fighter who gets beat up in any given round. That could take a lot out of you. And the other thing with a guy like Delgado making his first start of the year, still a very young player, so there's a lot of nerves and adrenaline, and sometimes you get in the middle innings and that kind of all hits you at once.
Yeah.
Kind of that rush goes away and you lose your legs.
Yeah, the 32 pitch 4th inning. And now here in the 5th, runners at 1st and 3rd for Martinez, who homered off him in the 1st and walked in the 4th.
5th inning sometimes psychologically a hurdle for a pitcher too. You have to get through 5 to qualify for the win.
The Astros 353 team average with runners in scoring position. And a check swing call goes the Astros way. It's 2-0, so they've really delivered in these situations. They've just had better at bats this season. They've worked the count better. Now very favorable at 2-0. It's far too early, of course, to draw conclusions, but here's the first inning swing of Martinez.
He's been the hitter's counts all night. This is a 3-1 fastball. That's how you're supposed to treat a 3-1 fastball. And then last time up, he worked the walk. Here he is, 3-0.
And swinging and fouling it back. 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-0 green light for the number 3 hitter Martinez. Carlos Lee on deck. Colorado 5, San Francisco nothing. Bottom of the 3rd at Coors Field against Lincecum. There's a shot off the heel of Delgado. It caroms over to Freeman, and he takes it to first. A shot that was a lucky one for the Braves, but the Astros did score a run to make it 4-2. That one was headed for center field, and it clipped him on the heel, it appeared.
Well, what a night JD has had. 3 sterling at bats. Talk about the pitcher needing 5 innings to qualify. So right now he's saying, I'm fine, I'm good.
Yeah. A carom shot. Now got him on the left foot.
I'm standing, aren't I? I'm good. You guys head on back to the dugout. We'll talk about this later.
Schaefer comes home to score. Jeff Porter, the Braves head trainer. Now they'll get a few warm-up pitches here as Carlos Lee's getting ready to bat from Delgado. Durbin's been warming up.
You're a tennis player, right, Brownie?
Yeah, used to be.
So, you know, if you're having a hard time getting your serve in, you have to hit that kind of soft second serve.
True.
And then you're just waiting for the other guy to just hammer it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what when you're at 3-0, 3-1 and you're pitching, you're like, you got to get it in. You know, you want to get it in the zone, in the box there. But you know they're going to take a big swing at it.
You better be ready to get it back. 350 home runs. Carlos Lee, the all-time Panamanian leader against Panamanian Delgado. Carlos 0 for 2.
It's the Panamanian strongman. Look out.
Pickoff throw at second. Wow. Altuve strayed. And he got picked off. Jack Wilson darting in behind him. A big throw from David Ross gets him. And that ends the 5th inning with a score 4-2 Braves.
fifth, the Astros had him on the ropes a little bit, and his veteran teammates bailed him out. David Ross and Jack Wilson conspiring. Watch Jack Wilson. He's off with the pitch. This is a design play between Wilson and the catcher, David Ross. Breaking ball down out of the zone. Wilson sneaks in behind Altuve. You cannot do it any better than that. Drops the leg down, coming back in head first. Jack able to block him off the base. He tries to sneak that left hand in and made it closer than it appeared. You get a good look here. It looked like they got him. Very, very close, but just a great play. Really well executed by Ross and Wilson.
So Altuve is picked off from 2 to 6 with Carlos Lee at the plate.
And that's, we used to have a lot of fun with Quintero throwing to the bases all the time. And that sometimes when you throw to the bases all the time, people are constantly aware of it, and you lose the element of surprise. And this was perfect timing by the Braves, given the game situation with their young starter out there scuffling, needing a little help.
Riner Cruz is in the game. First pitch there, ball 1 to David Ross, who came up with that big throw. Ross also has a 2-run double in this game in his first action of 2012. Cruz threw 4 pitches in his major league debut against the Rockies, 1/3 of an inning. Got a strikeout on Michael Kadire. After knocking him down, he threw a slider on the outside edge. He's an extreme hard thrower. That one went up at 92, but he can clock it up in the high 90s. Even close to triple digits for this native of the Dominican. Popped up. He got by with a hanger that time. Chris Johnson underneath it. 1 down. So Riner Cruz getting a feel for the big leagues after being drafted by Detroit in 03, and then he was signed by the Mets. Gets his first man. Jack Wilson with Juan Francisco on deck comes up for the 3rd time. He's really contributing tonight. He put down that squeeze bunt in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1, and then the defensive play to end the 5th on the pickoff. 1-0.
Just one of those guys. He's probably a really good juggler. Yeah. There's all kinds of magic tricks he can do.
1-1. Well, if Delgado wins this game, he owes a big thanks to Wilson and Ross for getting him out of 5th inning trouble, so he didn't have to face Carlos Lee. Threw 1 pitch to him, and if Carlos had hit the ball behind Wilson, it would have been interesting too, with him breaking to the bag. 1-2. Texas 1, Seattle 0. They've played 5 in Arlington with Colby Lewis on the mound. Fly ball to right center field. Travis Buck over. 2 down. So Marwin Gonzalez and Riner Cruz, both Rule 5 draft choices of the Astros in the December draft, are on that field right now. And here comes the pinch hitter, Juan Francisco. Batting for Delgado, who in 5 innings allowed 5 hits, 2 runs. He had 2 walks and fanned 6. He threw 89 pitches tonight. Francisco obtained from the Cincinnati Reds in a trade for pitcher J.J. Hoover. 1 for 9 as a Brave. 0 for 2 pinch hitting. There's strike 1. Started at 3rd base. You see Christian Martinez now in the bullpen. And starting at 3rd base Monday night, he made 3 errors before Chipper Jones returned from the disabled list. He went 1 for 3 in that game.
3 errors, effectively ending any conversation of Chipper Jones going out on a rehab assignment prior to being activated.
It worked out pretty well for the Braves. 1-1. Fastball foul away. It's 1-2. That fastball went up on the board at 96. Cincinnati got a run in the ninth, beating St. Louis 4-3. Aroldis Chapman winning that one, beating Mark Zebchinski. John Jay hit his first homer. Saw Lance Berkman tearing around the bases on the highlights last night, but apparently he injured a calf muscle.
Yeah, I saw that in the paper this morning that he was going to be reevaluated today. Story referred to it as a pulled muscle, but then said, but we'll see how he is tomorrow. If it's pulled, he would be down for a while.
Sure would be.
Maybe just a strain.
Well, Lance running well. Foul back by Francisco. And the Braves parting with a pretty good pitcher in Hoover to get this guy who really failed to take with the Reds. They have Scott Rowland. And now I don't know how much playing time he would get with the Braves, but after this year, Chipper Jones won't be around anymore, so maybe next year is his year. Third base might not be his position.
He's got big time power.
He does.
He can hit it a long way as well. Matter of fact, there's a note up there on the board. September 12, 2011, he hit a 502-foot home run, second longest ever at Great American Ballpark. There you go. Light tower power.
He has strong wrists and forearms from milking cows in the morning before he went to school in the Dominican. Struck him out. 1-2-3, sixth inning for Riner Cruz. And the Braves lead it at this point 4-2.
Cancer Center, making cancer history, and it was on this date the franchise had its first rain delay. But it didn't deter the team as they took a 2-0 shutout win over the Cubs. They were their patsies last year, and that was, we were talking about this between the innings here. The Cubs finished 9th, and they had 4 future Hall of Famers. This goes to show that.
Yeah, you need more than 4.
Yeah.
4 good players, that is. Not Hall of Famers. Now Christian Martinez is in the game, and it'll be Carlos Lee batting. He's 0 for 2. Martinez in 2 games has a 4.5 ERA for 2 innings.
Let me mention the 4 just for the people at home. Billy Williams, Ron Santo, Ernie Banks, and Ferguson Jenkins.
Must have had a bad manager.
Well, they had several. It was the College of Coaches era. So they rotated. They'd have a guy manage for about a month, Greg, and then he'd rotate to the minor leagues, and they'd bring somebody else up, and he'd manage the Cubs for a while.
Yeah, it didn't work too well. They, there was a bit of rivalry and jealousy, and each guy wanted to outdo the next with some new idea.
Yeah. Interesting concept.
I like the idea of thinking outside the box, but no, might have gone a little too far outside.
Did you see what's happening on that building across the street from Wrigley in right field?
No.
Liner over shortstop, and that's into left field. Top spin line drive single for Carlos Lee. And that's a good start for the Astros. Here's they trail by 2 in the 6th inning. You know that building with the dates of how long it's been?
Oh, the Emus Cthulhu.
Yeah,
and
Emus Cthulhu,
yeah.
Apparently there's a new owner of that building, and they've agreed to take those numbers down now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the numbers were indicative of the last time the Cubs won a division, a pennant, and a World Series.
Right. And, kind of daunting to look out there and see how long it's been. So they're getting a fresh start under Theo Epstein. Travis Buck is 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. He's been looking at the devastating changeup of Delgado. Delgado in 5 innings, allowing 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 2, fanned 6. And now moving along to Christian Martinez, who's 30 from the Dominican. 1-1.
Martinez, unlike some of those other arms out there in the Braves bullpen, not a power guy. That fastball clocked at 89. He'll sit right around there. Maybe touch 90 from time to time, but he's got a good sinker. Ground ball is his specialty.
Chris Johnson on deck. 1-2. The Reds won in the 9th on a Chris Heisey pinch hit. They got a walk-off to beat the Redbirds. Cardinals have done a lot of hitting. Foul ball keeps the count at 1-2. Each club has 6 hits. The Astros had 2 errors. Back to the normal home pinstripe uniforms after the 445 uniforms were on display last night.
Go the other way.
And slowly up the middle. There's Ugla with a toss. Jack Wilson firing. 4-6-3. That would have been good.
That's why.
Yep. Little play ball.
You saw Ross slide over the outside corner. You knew he was going to throw him that little two-seamer down and away. If you try to pull it, a lot of times that's the result. Rolled over on it a little bit. Nowhere for Carlos to go, so he just bails.
Chris Johnson single to left in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Rips this one into left. Another sharp hit for CJ. He's aboard for Castro now. And the Astros stay on the attack. Now, last night they had 12 hits. They lost the game 6-4, and they stranded 12 last night. Castro is 0 for 1 with a walk. Walk to load the bases in the 4th, and Delgado was able to get Gonzalez on a ground out. And then he got out of further trouble on that pickoff to end the 5th inning. Eric O'Flaherty, the lefty, warming up now. Strike to Castro. O'Flaherty pitched last night, as did Venters and Kimbrell, after Chris Medlin was the first reliever. Tommy Hansen, the starter last night.
Braves bullpen coach Omar Sharif out there wearing the shin guards.
Who's that, Eddie Perez?
Eddie Perez, yeah.
Astros fans remember seeing him against them in some games down through the years.
He was Maddox's personal catcher. He's got a really good plus-minus.
Bouncer slowly hit to Freeman. Tossing there to Martinez for a 3-1 play to end the 6th inning with no runs, 2 hits, and a man stranded. The Braves are still up after 6. It's 4-2 Atlanta.
Brought to you by Hyundai. New Hyundai owners are talking about their cars in the booth. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Now back to the booth, Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
The kids are jumping tonight. It's a 4-2 ball game after 6. Thank you, Greg. Moving to inning number 7. Riner Cruz had a 1-2-3 6th in relief of Wandy Rodriguez, who went the first 5. Now it's the top of the lineup for the Braves in the 7th inning, and Michael Bourne 0 for 3 leading it off. Chris Johnson on the grass at third. Carlos Lee even with the base at first. And Cruz hits the outside edge. Strike one for Riner. Early in spring training, Riner had some command issues, but then he smoothed out his delivery. Maybe took a few miles per hour off and had better command in the last few outings to make the club. 1-1. Last year, the Astros had another right-hander, Anaoe Rodriguez. He was taken in the Rule 5 draft as well and kept on the big league roster all year. Now he's at AAA Oklahoma City. That's a fly ball, and Schaefer's backing on it in left center field. Good stretch and catch. 4 straight retired by Cruz.
Well, Michael Bourne with 2 very good swings his last 2 plate appearances, but 2 lineouts, 1 to short, now this one to center field. Yeah, that Rule 5 thing, that's part of the curse that goes with it. You know, it's like you're on scholarship, and if the club keeps you in the big leagues all year, because there's pressure for them to do that, or else they have to offer you back to the team that they drafted you from. But the next year, there's no guarantees.
No.
So it's like they take the scholarship away, and now you got to walk on and make the club.
Martin Prado is 0 for 2 with a walk. So in the case of Riner Cruz this year, it gets him on a big league roster. Not that he wouldn't have been anyway, but now by rule, if the Astros wanted to keep him, they had to keep him on their roster or offer him back to his original team. They felt sure that he would have been claimed on the waiver process by another club if they had tried to return him to the Mets. And that was part of their reasoning, but they felt that he had pitched well enough to make the club. Johnson backs up at third, and Prado punches one foul. Like he was bailing a little bit on that.
Not a comfortable AB for a right-handed hitter.
No. Not at all.
A guy you really don't know much about. You've heard that he reaches triple digits, and he's got a little bit of a low 3/4 delivery.
Well, especially if they watched any tape of Michael Kadire batting against Riner Cruz and hitting the dirt on a pitch up and in. Ground ball through the left side. That was upstairs, and Prado got a good look at it with a 1-out single.
Yeah, letter high slider usually doesn't work. Birthday wishes to Nancy Wilhelm, a big Astro fan. She's watching with her daughter Stacy. We want to pass along happy birthday to Nancy.
Yeah.
3rd cousin of Hall of Famer Hoyt.
Really?
I have no idea.
Okay. Freddie Freeman doubled off the left field wall, and he has struck out twice.
Nancy has a good knuckleball. We'll assume she's related.
That's a looping hit by Altuve into right field. And here's a throw to third base by Buck. Hit the runner and he gets away, and now into second base, Freeman. Travis Buck's throw was on line to Chris Johnson, but it hit the slot Prado. And that allows Freeman to get to second base.
Wow, when I saw Prado turn second ahead for third, I thought he was going to be an easy out. And Buck gets this ball in pretty good shape. Throw offline, hits Prado in the back, and he makes it. And Freeman moves into scoring position himself.
By rule, that has to be an error on the throw by Buck because it hit the runner and it allowed an advance of one base by another player, Freeman in this case. So a good throw, but it turns out ruled an error. It's hard to say when you put it right on the bag on one bounce. It was a bad throw, but that's the rule. It's an error. Hit the runner and caused advance. So it's Chipper Jones now with the infield coming in, 1 out. He's 1 for 3. So 3 errors for the Astros tonight. When it rains, it pours. Chipper goes. There's strike one. 18,225 the paid attendance. Giants just got 4 in the 4th, but they trail Colorado 6-4. Nate Shearholz and Brandon Crawford have gone deep for them.
Lincecum tonight, right?
Yes.
Oh, he's struggling.
He is struggling.
Didn't pitch well in their opener.
We're going to check his pitching line while we have a chance. And yeah, that ERA is not Lincecum-like, that's for sure.
Well, the Rockies have scored 6 in the first 3 innings.
His ERA is 12.91 right now. Chipper takes ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Jeremy Guthrie on the mound for Colorado tonight. The Astros will stay in the NL East for their next road trip to Miami and Washington. Chipper swings and misses. 2-2.
Chipper fairly well convinced he was going to get a heater right there from Riner Cruz.
The Angels are up 5-3 at Minnesota. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Peter Borges hit his first homer. Josh Willingham, number 3 for the Twins.
Good pitch.
Yeah, he's fooled and he strikes out. Second strikeout for Cruz.
Nice job, Riner Cruz. Second and third, Chipper Jones up there, and the youngster did a nice job. It's dissected pitch by pitch. He's leaning heavily on that breaking ball. Missed there. Good heater, but off, so it's 2-0. Chipper cheating on the heater. Cheating on the heater. He finished him off.
Unlike that slider he threw to Prado that was up, he kept those down to Chipper. Disguised the pitch very well. Dan Uggla the batter. Strike to Uggla. He's 1 for 3, 2 runs scored. It's all about gaining confidence for some of these young Astros players. And Riner Cruz, 25 years old, second major league appearance, has a chance to do that right here. Popped up. Carlos Lee over. Let's see what the wind does with it. Brings it back a little bit, but not enough. In the camera box. Oh, and 2.
Going to misjudge it a little bit. And then a smile for the cameras.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And you forget, it's very daunting for a young player. And we'll take one more look at Carlos. He's going to lose his track of his pop-up. But I remember when I first came to the big leagues, I remember when I got traded over here pitching against Pete Rose. I mean, just surreal experience sometimes. You can imagine what Riner Cruz is thinking facing Chipper Jones.
2 hopper to Chris Johnson. And he gets Uggla for 2 scoreless innings for Riner Cruz. This time he leaves 2 men after allowing 2 hits and an error. And it's still within reach, 4-2 Atlanta.
Maid Park. The fans are enjoying their 7th inning stretch. We want to remind you that Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Let's go back to Brownie and JD in the booth.
Thank you, Bart. And we look at pitcher number 3 for Atlanta warming up. Lefty Eric O'Flaherty, 27 years old. He pitched last night. Did not give up a run in 2/3 of an inning, and he has an ERA of 0 for the first 2 games.
2-4 last year in 78 appearances for Atlanta. Part of that very, very talented bullpen. An 0.98 ERA last season.
Marwin Gonzalez is 0 for 2. Looks at ball 1. Pinch hitter Justin Maxwell on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. Riner Cruz has thrown a couple of innings. Up the middle into center field. Gonzalez met the ball squarely. And the Astros continue to put men on base. They've had runners in every inning except the second tonight. Now Justin Maxwell made quite a splash after being claimed on waivers from the New York Yankees. In his first Astro at bat, he hit a 2-run pinch homer. He's 1 for 2 with Houston. Maxwell, a very intriguing player, formerly with the Washington Nationals. He showed off that power his first time up. Second career pinch homer it was. Fernando Rodriguez is warming up. There's strike 1 to Maxwell. Riner Cruz at 2 innings, allowed 2 hits with no runs allowed. Didn't walk anybody and fanned 2. Maxwell's a .240 hitter in his career in the big leagues as a pinch hitter, but has a .387 pinch hit on base average in 25 at bats. Strike there. 0-2. Dan Radisson is on the Astros staff, and he had knowledge of Justin from his time with the Nationals and Yankees. Right-handed hitters much more effective against O'Flaherty, .271. Misses by a wide margin there, and it's 1-2. Maxwell's played all 3 outfield positions. Good speed. He's played 57 games in center field, and that could come into play here. Jordan Schaefer needs a day off. The Astros had Jason Bourgeois. As you know, he was in that package deal along with catcher Humberto Quintero going to Kansas City for prospects. Jason was the main backup in the outfield as a right-handed bat. Ryan Bixler could play outfield, but Maxwell fits the kind of bill that they would like to have, I believe, on their bench. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you like to have protection at all the positions, and sometimes some of the premier defensive positions it's a little bit tougher. And that's why they really like Marwin Gonzalez, because he's a real good shortstop, not just a utility guy that can play a number of different positions. He's a good shortstop, and the same thing with Maxwell. He can play all the outfield positions, but you don't lose a lot if he makes a few starts in center field.
Fouls that one back. The Astros have been very good at pinch hitting. 4 for 10, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in as a team.
I don't know if you lose anything. I don't know how good of an outfielder he is. He may be a superior defender to Jordan Schaefer. I don't know that. We'll find out. Schaefer's a good center fielder.
He is.
You cannot assume that Maxwell is better or worse until we see him play.
Maxwell tried to check, and he did on appeal. And the count runs full now with Paul Emmel making that call. Maxwell had right shoulder surgery last June. He was at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Did not play in the big leagues last year. He was in the majors with Washington in both 2009 and 2010. And also going back to 2007 with the Nationals. Fouls it away. Good battle here. O'Flaherty part of this outstanding bullpen trio. Johnny Venters, another left-hander, gets late inning assignments, and the closer Craig Kimbrell. All 3 of them working last night in the Braves 6-4 win. That's ball 4. Very close pitch, but Maxwell draws a pinch walk. 2 men on, nobody out. It gets intriguing now with Schaefer coming up.
How shallow will Chipper Jones play Jordan Schaefer here?
Jordan's looking at him as he walks to the batter's box now. Schaefer bunted for a hit and came around to score in the 5th inning as Chipper tried to play the ball with the bare hand and dropped it. Schaefer earlier in the 3rd inning single to right center. He's on a good spree of hits in this series. He has 6 hits in 12 at bats in this series now.
I suspect another push button in that third base direction would be the play. Well, be careful out there at second base. We've seen what Ross and Wilson are capable of.
Freddie Freeman was in on the grass at first, and it's ball 1 to Schaefer. Altuve on deck. You don't see anybody warming up in the Braves pen right now. A strike call makes it 1-1. Schaefer can advance these runners. The Astros will have men at second and third with 1 out. Altuve and Martinez due up.
He's squaring early. Sacrifice is on, obviously. At least it was there. You get pitch in the zone, you got to put the bat on the ball.
Now 2-1. Schaefer does bunt a lot. Has 1 sacrifice this year.
Talked about Brad Mills being aggressive this year. How about a little hit and run play right here? That'd be kind of fun.
Shake it up. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike for Eric O'Flaherty.
Your job in this situation when the man's up there trying to sacrifice is to make sure you throw a strike.
Well, O'Flaherty has done that reliably in his career. Strike 2, and it's a full count now.
Now he's in a bit of a bind because you can't foul one off here. You're out, obviously. Should have been more aggressive. There's 2 strikes he's taken in this at bat to get the bunt down.
And that's a strikeout.
Wow, that's ironic, isn't it?
Boy, it is.
Showing bunting for hits a couple of different times in the series, and then in a sacrifice situation couldn't get it down.
Ross came out of the chute.
You know, and sometimes guys, certain players are pretty good at bunting for hits, but in sacrifice they're just not comfortable. And if that's the case, you're better off using the same mechanics that you use when you're bunting for a hit in a sacrifice situation.
True.
Don't square around so early. Wait a little bit.
Altuve single to right in the 5th. He's 1 for 3.
Braves certainly winning the battle here tonight in terms of execution.
Yeah.
Plays made, not made. Errors, bunts missed.
Bet they are.
Things of that nature. They got the squeeze down. They got the perfectly executed pickoff play.
Certainly helped O'Flaherty to get that strikeout with the runners holding at first and second. Struck out Chris Snyder with 2 on last night. This one goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes. O'Flaherty, a workhorse. He had 78 appearances in 09 with Atlanta, 78 more last year. He came from the Seattle organization on a waiver claim by the Braves in 08. Big lead by Marwin Gonzalez off second. 1-2. Back in the 5th inning, Ross picked off Altuve at second base with Jack Wilson darting in behind him to end that frame. Each club with 8 hits. Up the right field line, but foul. The Phillies knocked off Miami 7-1. Roy Halladay going to 2-0, beating Josh Johnson. He's 0-2. Carlos Ruiz hit his first homer. Phillies are 2-3. Miami is 2-4.
A lot of people thinking the Fish might make a big move in the National League East this year if they're going to do it. Josh Johnson's going to have to be awfully sturdy for them. Knocked around tonight. Phillies banged out 14 hits in that game.
Velasco, Zambrano, and Sanchez pitch this weekend against Houston in Miami. Up the middle and on through into center field. Stop sign at third for Gonzalez. The bases are loaded. Altuve gets his second hit of the night. And it's Martinez with the bases loaded and one out. Greg?
Hey, just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. We'll go all the way back to the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on. J.D. Martinez, the hitter. He ripped it. A solo homer, his second of the year. And the 8th 2-out RBI for the Astros in the opening 6 games.
Freddie Gonzalez stays with O'Flaherty with the bases loaded. Martinez also got an RBI in the 5th inning with that hot shot up the middle off the foot of Delgado. So with a homer and 2 runs batted in tonight, he's been steady.
Yeah, he great at bats all night long. I think this is the guy, if you were to ask Brad Mills, that he wants up in this situation. Tonight, JD's the guy. He's had the best at bats.
Durbin was warming up earlier, but not now. Popped up outside the first base line. Freeman will not get a shot at it. The wind could work that ball back when it's over the stands, because it comes usually over the roof beyond first base and then swoops down and on out to left field. It's a normal wind pattern here.
Dave Clark heard it a little bit from the fans not sending Marwin Gonzalez, but can understand his thinking. The Astros are down 2. Michael Bourne gets to the ball so quickly out there in center field and throws well.
Strike, and it's 0-2.
I feel pretty comfortable that Gonzalez would have. His thinking is like, I got to be sure. I got to be 100% in this situation.
Chop goes foul. Gonzalez at third. Maxwell's at second with Altuve at first. Freddie Gonzalez with his club leading 4-2, relying on the lefty arm of O'Flaherty throughout the 7th inning.
See, this is where if managers weren't tied to the traditional roles of my 7th inning guy, my 8th inning, my 9th inning guy, with Altuve, Martinez, Lee coming up after Schaefer. If you had Kimbrell hot, bring him in. Let Venners close. He's as capable as Kimbrell.
Fly ball toward the right field line. Hayward over, makes the catch, and the runners hold as the throw comes into the plate. It just wasn't very deep. 2 outs. Gonzalez holding at third.
Astros left the bases loaded in the 4th inning, left the bases loaded in the 3rd inning in last night's game, and Carlos needs to be a hero here to get everybody off the hook. Hayward kind of flat-footed when he caught that one, but shallow enough, and he's got a big arm. So even though the technique wasn't perfect, he would have gotten his man.
He would have. Now it's Carlos Lee with the bases loaded, and Roger McDowell comes out. Very interesting here, even though the options from the right-handed side are Chad Durbin, who was warming up earlier, Levon Hernandez, and then, as you mentioned, the closer, Craig Kimbrell. And now Durbin is warming up again. He was up earlier. 16 grand slams from Carlos Lee. A-Rod, the active leader, with 22. He looks at ball 1. He singled to left in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. One ball, one strike. Travis Buck on deck. He works it to 2-1. 30 pitches for O'Flaherty. Christian Martinez in one inning allowed 2 hits, no runs with no walks or strikeouts. 3-1. It's energy time for this crowd on the 3-1 pitch. And ball 4 forces in a run. It's a 1-run lead for the Braves, 4-3. Lee picking up RBI number 7. Second walk of the inning for O'Flaherty. And now we get a pinch hitter announced for Buck, Matt Downs. Right-handed batter.
Good patient approach there by Carlos. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Downs needs to be a patient here. He's his MO is to go up there and whack at the first good fastball he sees.
O'Flaherty stays in. Downs is 0 for 4. All as a pinch hitter. First time he's been up with the bases loaded this season. 250 his bases loaded career average. Johnson on deck. Ground ball. Chipper Jones can't get it. Here's Wilson with a throw for the force at second. And the Astros make it into a 1-run game. They get a run on 2 hits and lead 3. It's 4-3 Atlanta through 7.
You can follow the Astros.com and with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and a whole lot more. All you got to do is text @Bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. She's keeping up with it right now. Well, they're playing a game. One or the other.
Pitcher number 3 comes out of the Houston bullpen. Wandy Rodriguez started. Then it was Riner Cruz for a couple of scoreless innings. Third hurler of the night, Fernando Rodriguez. Meanwhile, it's Justin Maxwell staying in to play right field after pinch hitting for the pitcher Cruz. He's in the 9 spot. And now the pitcher, Fernando Rodriguez, is in that number 5 spot in the order for Brad Mills.
Mission clear for Fernando. Post another 0 as he has done so far this year in 2 ball games. Walk a couple of strikeouts. He did suffer a loss in his first appearance. If the Astros come back and win this game, don't forget the job that Riner Cruz did there in the 7th with 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, punching out Chipper Jones. and getting ugly to finish the inning.
Hayward leads it off in the 8th. He is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Now Fernando Rodriguez got that loss opening night on an unearned run. And he pitched well Monday night against Atlanta. He delivers ball 1. San Diego got 2 in the bottom of the 8th to beat Arizona 2-1. Houston Street saved that game. Johnny Venters is warming up for the Braves. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giovanni Gallardo in Milwaukee edged the Cubs 2-1 at Wrigley, beating Ryan Dempster with John Exford notching his 2nd save. George Coteras hit his 2nd home run.
So he won the Battle of Canada over Dempster.
Yeah. High to right field. That jumped off the bat of Hayward and jumped into the seats. Hayward hits number 1 of the season, and the Braves are up by 2 again, 5-3.
That swing right there, why so many pitchers try to crowd Jason Hayward. Of course, you can't throw everything in because most pitches in are off the plate. You got to find a way to throw him some strikes. Fernando opted for an off-speed pitch, looked like a straight changeup. Straight until it got to home plate, and then it got a big hump in it.
Hayward smacked it for his first homer of this season and 4th career long ball against Houston pitching. Now 5-3 Atlanta as Ross bats. Strike 1. Ross drove in a couple with a double to right center in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. And he made a fine pickoff throw to end the Houston 5th inning, getting Altuve at second base. Unless somebody threw a ball on the field. Hayward sent that one on a merry ride. Each club has 9 hits now. The Astros have committed 3 errors tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike. Johnson, Castro, and Gonzalez are due up in the bottom of the inning for Houston. Two balls and a strike. Oakland edged Kansas City in 12, 5-4. Fernando Rodriguez from El Paso, 27 years old. He pitched 47 times last year for the Astros. That's to right field. Maxwell unable to make the catch. A hit for Ross. He's 2 for 4. Maxwell got a good break on the ball.
Freddie Gonzalez has to be very pleased with the effort he's getting from Ross here tonight as he rests his stalwart Brian McCann, one of the better hitting catchers in all of baseball. But Ross has contributed with a couple of knocks and a big play with the pickoff of Altuve at second base.
Eric Hinsky comes out to the on-deck circle. Pitcher due up next. Jack Wilson's 0 for 2 with a squeeze punt, accounting for a run. That's a pretty good night when the backup catcher comes through the way Ross has. Ball 1.
Wilson showing sacrifice there. Ross not a real speedy guy, so if you come hard, Wilson doesn't get down a good bunt, you got a real good chance at nailing the lead runner here. Too aggressively though, and Wilson might pull the bat back and slash at it.
Chris Johnson tiptoeing in. That pitch spun him around, and Wilson backed out of there on ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Jack.
Now that it's a hitter's count, sometimes the manager will give the hitter a free swing. Go ahead. Take a whack at one, expecting a cripple fastball.
That's a strike. 2-1.
Crazy in Colorado. 9-7 now. Rockies over the Giants. Giants scored 7 in the 4th, and they're still trying. I wonder how many times a team has scored 7 runs in an inning and still lost the ball game.
Yeah, not many. Humidor must be broken.
Hopefully Lincecum's not broken.
Yeah. Runner going, and there's a fly ball toward the gap, but Schaefer's there for the catch, and he's got the easy double play at first. Good catch by Schaefer, and then that made it the easy throw over to Carlos Lee for an 8-3 play for the double play.
Well, a little hit and run play, the fake bunt and slash. Ross realizes there's no way he's going to get back, so you might as well just keep on going and hope the ball drops in. So he sees it airborne right there, but he knows there's no way he's getting back to first base.
Brad Mills with the announcement of the left-handed pinch hitter Eric Hinske comes out toward the mound, and he's already announced a move to his bullpen. He wants to neutralize Hinske with Wesley Wright. So it's the young lefty coming out of the pen with the score 5-3 Atlanta. Back in a moment. Atlanta has the upper hand and also the edge in hits 10-9. Houston has committed all 3 errors. Pitcher number 4 for Brad Mills is Wesley Wright, the 27-year-old southpaw who last year had an ERA of 1.50 ERA.
And really shut down left-handed hitters, and that's why he's brought in here to get the veteran Eric Hinske.
Hinske's 2 for 4 in the early going with an RBI. All those at bats as a pinch hitter. Astros outfielders had congregated, so it takes a moment for them to get back to their positions. Hinske had the pinch hit RBI single to left last night in the 8th inning, and was retired in the 9th inning Monday night. Shift is on, and Altuve's out there in right field. That's where he got him Monday night. Hinske's hit .261 against right-handers. Lefties hold him to a lower average. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eric, 34 years old. He's from Wisconsin, went to the University of Arkansas, and he was the Rookie of the Year in the American League with Toronto in 2002. Has 6 career pinch homers. 1-2. He's played first, third, left, and right, and gives the Braves that kind of flexibility. Pirates got a third inning homer at Los Angeles from Clint Varmus, his first as a Pirate. Eric Bedard has the lead 1-0 over the Dodgers, who are 4-1. Dodgers will be the next opponent for the Astros here at home, April 20th, 21st, 22nd. That Friday night, April 20th, Larry Dierker will throw out the first pitch. It'll be another flashback Friday. The Astros wearing the old uniforms. Fireworks after the game. Chad Billingsley is on the mound tonight for the Dodgers.
I wonder if Vin Scully is back.
Oh, let's hope. Hardly ever misses. Bouncer to Carlos Lee. And in the 8th inning, the long ball by Hayward gives the Braves bullpen a little more operating room. Going to the bottom of the 8th, they're up 5-3. Time to take a look at our in-game box score, and it's brought to you by Burger King, showing you the Astros with hits at the top of the order. 2 from Schaefer, 2 from Altuve, then Martinez and Lee have joined in the fun. Chris Johnson has a 2-hit game, and at the bottom of the order, Gonzalez has a hit and a run scored. So the Astros have done a fair amount of hitting themselves, but also find themselves behind by 2 now against one of the top relievers in the game, Johnny Venters, here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be. Trailing the Braves at this stage of the ball game because of Venters and Kimbrell. No doubt we'll have the 9th inning if things go well here for Atlanta in the 8th. But the Astros, they've been swinging it well, Brian. They've had a lot of good at-bats.
Yep.
Blown some opportunities. The execution hasn't been perfect, but have to be encouraged with the way the bats have responded so far here the first week of the season.
Chris Johnson's had 2 of those hits tonight. There's strike 1 to Chris. He's 2 for 3. O'Flaherty in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, 1 run. He walked 2, fanned 1, and he faced 7 men in that 7th inning. Craig Kimbrell presumably gets the 9th. Check swing call there. It's 1-1. So into that 7th, 8th, 9th trio of O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrell. That's been a real security blanket for the Braves, but they might be limited somewhat this year because of all the appearances they piled up last season. 2 balls and no strikes. I'm sure that Freddie Gonzalez would just rather have his starter go 7. Castro's on deck. It's 3-1. Venters has been really tough on the Astros, a career ERA of 0. 4 6 1/3 innings with 10 strikeouts. Johnny, 27 years old, from Pikeville, Kentucky. 30th round pick in 03. Bounce Chipper Jones to his left. Olays it. Jack Wilson can't make the play. Ball squirted out of his hand as he tried to throw from deep in the hole, and then he tried to hold back, and the ball just squirted out. So Johnson has his 3rd hit.
Yeah, rolled over on that 3-1 pitch. I'm sure he's not happy with the swing, but he's probably fairly pleased with the result as Chipper starts to retreat on that ball. Can't handle it. Jack Wilson tries to make a play in support of him. In a way, he's going to throw out CJ from there. We've seen him do some spectacular things, but he's not going to make a play there. It's an E5 on Chipper Jones.
Yeah, I call that prematurely. It was an error on Chipper. First error by Chipper. That gives the Astros an opening. They're going to pinch hit for Castro, the lefty hitting catcher, with Snyder. So Chris Snyder comes up. And Snyder, who got the start last night, going 0 for 5, will be in this position with a runner at first and nobody out, with Marwin Gonzalez on deck. Chris 1 for 9 with 1 RBI this season. There's strike 1 of the former University of Houston backstop. Be a nice moment for him if he could rock one out of here and tie this game back in his hometown. Venters gave up 2 homers in 88 innings last year. 0-2.
If you're in the market for a big, powerful right-handed hitting catcher, you're in the right spot. Snyder and Ross, very similar. Same type of player. Don't hit for high average, but both have good power. Hit a fair number of home runs.
1-2. Venters misses away, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves had 38 saves last year, 21 blown saves. Strikeout, out number 1.
With his power sinker down in the way, very difficult to lift that ball, do anything with it other than just try to punch it into right field.
Marwin Gonzalez singled to open the home 7th and came around to score. He's 1 for 3.
And there's only Brian Bogusevic on the Astros bench.
So if they need him in the 9th against the righty Kimbrell, he would be available by saving him. There's strike 1 to Gonzalez. Maxwell due up next. And then Jordan Schaefer would bat if the inning continued. It's a 1-1 count. Astros got a first inning run on a J.D. Martinez homer. Foul back. That was one of those sliders that was hittable. 1-2. Braves got a second inning run to tie it. Then they took the lead with 3 in the 4th. Ever since then, they've been able to hang on to that lead, although they've been under a lot of pressure from the Astros hitters. The Astros have stranded 8. They have 9 hits. Braves have committed an error. There's a shot line to Freeman and a double play. Hard hit ball by Marwin Gonzalez. It's a 3 unassisted double play to win the 8th. No runs, no hits, an error. Freeman was ready. 5-3 Atlanta, moving to the 9th.
Brought to you by Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week baseball. Now back to the booth, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thanks, Greg. This ball game moves to the 9th inning now. The Braves last year played 84 games, decided by 1 or 2 runs. They have a 2-run lead now. Chris Snyder behind the plate. And it is Michael Bourne leading it off in the 9th against Wesley Wright, who came in to get the final out in the 8th inning. Strike to Bourne is 0 for 4 tonight. And Braves have played 4 games decided so far of their 5 by 1 or 2 runs. Johnson in on the grass at third. No balls, 2 strikes for Wesley Wright. The Astros in the bottom of the 9th have Maxwell, Schaefer, and Altuve due up. One and 2, as JD mentioned, only one position player remains, Brian Bogusevic. Yankees got 2 in the 10th. They lead at Baltimore 6-4. Swisher hit his second homer. Still 1 and 2, and Mariano Rivera's in there now. Elvis Andrus with number 1. Ian Kinsler number 3 have gone deep for the Rangers. They're up 3-1 on Seattle after 8.
Kinsler just signed a nice new contract extension with the Rangers.
Well, they've been giving out some nice contracts here the last few months. Still 1 and 2. Yu Darvish moving in to join them. And now the Kinsler deal. But Josh Hamilton will go through this season without an extension, apparently. And they've agreed they will talk after the season's over. Brandon Phillips got an extension by the Reds. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Throwing money around.
Well, between Phillips and Votto, they've thrown about $200 million around. Or $300 million, rather. Votto signed a 10-year deal. What's $100 million?
Yeah, here or there.
Roller out to Altuve. Underhands over, 1 out.
Drew Storen had elbow surgery.
Ooh. So I guess it's Brad Lidge and Henry Rodriguez closing. Right? Altuve rushing over to make that play on Bourne. Prado has been on twice with a walk and a single. 10-7, Colorado leading at home against San Francisco. They're in the bottom of the 5th. Michael Bourne 1 for 13 in his return to Houston. Ball to Prado.
Scott Baker of the Twins will have elbow surgery and miss the entire season.
Ooh.
Twins did win tonight 6-5. They were the last winless team in the major leagues prior to tonight.
They sure had a rough year last year as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Freeman's on deck. It's 3-0 now to Prado.
Buster Posey not in the lineup tonight in Colorado. He has shingles.
Well, that could be painful. All 4. Who's catching?
There seems to be a lot of that shingles going around, Brownie.
What do you think? What is that?
I don't know. It's like the chickenpox virus.
Mm-hmm.
Tony La Russa suffered from it last year for a long time.
Yeah, he sure did. Freeman has a double and a single. 2 for 4 tonight. Chipper Jones on deck.
Sanchez is catching. Hector Sanchez is catching for the Giants tonight.
Okay. It's been so long since we've seen that. There's strike 1.
Yeah.
It'll be a little while longer too. White Sox pounded Cleveland 10-6. They're 3-2. They really had an off season last year. How happy do you think they are that Ozzie Guillen moved on?
I don't know. They seem to enjoy the tension there.
Yeah.
He and Kenny Williams.
Yeah, they flourished for a long time with that pairing.
There's a lot of people think that Ozzie's not going to survive this scandal.
Snyder scrambles for it, and now he's got to throw behind the runner, but safe. Prado just got back on a close call at first by Paul Emmel.
The throw was there. It looked like Prado took some evasive action and allowed him to sneak into the back corner of the base to avoid the tag. He reacts to the ball in the dirt, and then Snyder gets on it quickly. By it, but reached back and got it before Carlos could apply the tag.
Still 1-2 to Freeman. Yeah, with Guillen moving on to Miami, the White Sox also got a player back in that deal from the Marlins. Ozzie serving his 5-game suspension when the Astros are in town this weekend. So Joey Cora, the bench coach, will be running the club. It's just ironic because the Marlins felt that Ozzie was a perfect fit for them because of the whole mix in their community and the fact that he had been a long-time resident there, that he would be appealing.
You know, I haven't read the article. It's in Time magazine where Ozzie professes his admiration for Castro. I can only believe that it was just done out of a sense of, this will shock everybody. Everybody says they don't like that. I'm going to say I like him. Without any sense of what the ramifications might be.
True. One and two. Baseball and politics don't always mix. Yankees beat Baltimore in 10, 6-4. Mariano Rivera got his second save.
You can almost envision the conversation with Ozzie in the front office, maybe the media relations people. Hey, Time magazine wants to sit down with you and do a long piece, but you know, you don't have to. Don't feel obligated here. You don't really have to go down that road.
Struck him out. Did you ever read that book, Game 6, about Game 6 of the 1975 World Series?
I have not.
By Mark Frost. Very, very well written book. And at that time, it was Louis Tiant. As you see the strikeout for Wright. Tiant had come from Cuba, and moves were made to get his parents out of Cuba and back to Boston so they could watch him pitch in the World Series, and that was accomplished. It took a lot of doing by highly placed officials, but it did happen. Chipper Jones 1 for 4. Probably his final plate appearance in Houston. There's ball 1. He has jokingly said he'll miss New York, where they chant Larry when he comes to the plate. He has a child named Shea, or Shea Stadium in New York. Bounce foul. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. A long chapter in his life, from first pick in the draft, all these years in 1 uniform, headed for the Hall of Fame, and only fitting and appropriate that Craig Biggio, who had that same status with the Astros, present him with the cowboy hat at home plate Monday night. Fly ball off the end of the bat. Altuve looks out to the center fielder Schaefer. It loops in front of Maxwell, and now the ball gets behind him. And here's the throw to the plate, and here comes Prado, and he will score. 6-3. As the Braves get a run when the ball gets loose in the outfield.
And just a little careless out there recovering that ball, and the irony is Prado had broken it down. He had no intention of trying to score, and then the misplay, and even after the misplay out here, if the throw came in, had been handled, they would have had a real good shot at him.
And Marwin Gonzalez stretched for it, couldn't make the catch. Schaefer and Maxwell collide. Maxwell's throw and elusive, and now Brad Mills out to make a move.
See, Prado's breaking it down.
That's an error on Schaefer, so it's the 4th error of the night for the Astros, allowing that run to score. 6-3 ball game. Back in a moment. Have really had a tough time in the error column. The most recent error in the 4th of the night was charged to Jordan Schaefer. We thought it might have gone to Justin Maxwell, the right fielder who came over, but official scorer has ruled E8, so that's error number 4 of the night. And here it is.
Yeah, it's off of Jordan's glove out there. Well, never did his glove, but they collided, and then Maxwell's throw comes in. Carlos probably should have shifted over into the middle of the diamond prior to that to set up as a cutoff man. Just a funky play.
Brandon Lyon in to face Dan Uggla now. ripped on a bounce. There's a good play by Chris Johnson. On over to Altuve for the forced play. And the Braves pick up an insurance run on one hit with one error and one left. They lead it now 6-3, heading to the bottom of the ninth. Fourth Houston error now has been charged to Justin Maxwell, the right fielder. It's been changed. It was originally given to Jordan Schaefer in the top of the inning. The run unearned charged to Wesley Wright, who in one inning allowed one hit, one run, no earned runs, one walk, one strikeout. And now the closer for the Braves, Craig Kimbrell, comes in a save situation. He has one appearance and he got a save. And that was last night.
Well, picking up where he left off last year, he had 46 saves. He did struggle down towards the end of the season. Just about everybody in a Brave uniform did last year. They collapsed, losing 20 of their final 30 ball games, but that bullpen pretty sturdy most of the summer for Freddie Gonzalez. And this guy was the guy who was there at the end of all those games.
He'll face Justin Maxwell to lead it off. Maxwell drew a pinch walk in the 7th inning. Strike one for Kimbrell. Johnny Venters in the 8th inning allowed no hits, no runs with no walks and a strikeout. He got the line drive double play to end it. Kimbrell, pitcher number 5 for the Braves. Randall Delgado in a position to be the winning pitcher tonight. He went 5. That electric fastball at 95. That makes it 1-2. Braves trying to make it 2 wins in 3 games in this series, and if they get this, they'll go back home with a 2-4 record to have their home opener Friday night, while the Astros would be 3-3 unless they can stage a big 9th inning finish. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, if Brad Mills' club can at least tie this game and push it to extra innings, the worm will have certainly turned with the best Atlanta relievers having worked. Foul ball back, keeps it at 2-2. Schaefer is on deck. Altuve is due up third. This, of course, the easiest of save situations, unless you want to count a 3-inning save, which would be granted no matter what the score was. But 3-run lead, 1 inning to go. And there's out number 1 on the strikeout.
Saves are maybe the most overrated stat in baseball.
Yeah.
Fastball is not overrated. That's legit.
That is. Schaefer is 2 for 4 tonight with a run scored. So Jordan has scored 5 runs in the Astros' first 6 games so far. There's strike one with Chipper Jones in on the grass. The Mariners just came up with 3 in the top of the 9th at Texas. Now the Rangers are batting, trailing 4-3 in the bottom half. It's 1-1. 12-7 Colorado, bottom of the 5th, with the Giants trailing. One and two. There haven't been all that many wild games at Coors Field the last few years since the humidor really tamed down the baseballs there. A lot of guys are getting wealthy in the batting average department tonight. RBIs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see. Cargo's driven in 4 already, going 3 for 4 for the Rockies, and they're in the 5th inning.
So Lincecum and Jeremy Guthrie, who was the opening day starter for the Rockies here, they combined to give up 12 runs in 5 2/3 innings.
Ouch.
Lincecum went 2 1/3, Guthrie 3 1/3. Even though that's Coors Field, I'm guessing the over/under and run scored in that game was a little bit less than the 19 that have already been posted through 5 innings.
Pretty safe. Bounce, foul, wide of first base. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the Astros and Rockies will play a doubleheader there on Memorial Day.
Rockies set a franchise record here at the end of last year when they banged out 25 hits. Here at Minute Maid Park, they've got 16 so far tonight.
Each club in this game has stranded 8 runners, with the Braves up by 3. Kimbrell's pitch is ball 3.
We'll talk about the lost opportunities after this one, but it's better than not getting opportunities. And that's been nice to see. A lot of base runners here in the early going for the Astros.
There's another one. On a 1-out walk. 5th walk for Braves pitching tonight. That's the 3rd time Schaefer has reached. He started the night at a .381 on base average. Altuve has been on twice with singles in the 5th and 7th, 2 for 4. Yeah, you're making a good point, JD. With 9 more hits tonight, the Astros began the night with a .272 team batting average. Sure, it's only a few games, but it's a nice start for them. But then what really is a start? It's not 6 games. It's probably more like 40 games, right?
Yeah, about a month or so, I would say.
No balls, 2 strikes. JD Martinez on deck. If Altuve can reach, the Astros can get the potential tying run to the plate. That's a strikeout. 2 outs. Kimbrell painting on that one. Well, Martinez ripped a homer, and he got another RBI when he ripped the ball off the pitcher's foot. Altuve retired as Martinez tries to keep it alive for Carlos Lee. Kimbrell from Huntsville, Alabama, trying to close it out. This bouncer goes foul. Last year with those 46 saves JD talked about, he tied for the league lead. Had 8 blown saves.
For a guy who's so aggressive with his fastball, he didn't give up many home runs. 3 home runs in 77 innings.
Runner going, and there's a ground ball past a diving Jack Wilson, and Schaefer goes to 3rd, and that will get Carlos Lee to the plate, representing the potential tying run. It's hit number 10 for the Astros and number 2 of the night for Martinez. Schaefer to 3rd.
Just another very good plate appearance for JD. He went down, got a breaking pitch, muscled it through the infield.
Carlos Lee, who is 3 for 3 in his career against Kimbrell. Got a hit off him last night. Tonight he's 1 for 3 with a bases loaded walk. Last night in the 9th, he singled to center against Kimbrell. Ryan Bogusevic comes out to the on deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. There's strike one. Action in the Astros bullpen in case there are extra innings tonight. Maybe Bogey can hit another pinch slam.
Why not?
0-2. He did it last year to beat the Cubs. Carlos battling now. Oh, man. So close at 96. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm guessing that pitch was 1/8 of an inch further out than the one to Altuve. It looked like the same pitch, didn't it?
It did. It really did. There it is. Punched foul. Braves getting ready to head back home, and the Astros will be traveling tomorrow on the off day for Miami. Two and two on the last homestand of 2011. It was the Cardinals who were here, waiting to see what Atlanta did. And after they beat the Astros here, they waited around and found out they'd be going to the playoffs because the Braves lost.
Ooh, my goodness.
3-2.
Oh, boy, did he make a pitch.
Full count with 2 outs. The runner at first, Martinez, will be going.
The fact that Ross had to reach back a little bit to get that one may have cost him, but that was a dandy. 96 on the corner.
Foul back. The Astros continue to battle in these games. Well, they did it last night. They were trailing, and they got the first 2 men on in the 9th, down 6-4. But then there was a double play ball and a ground out. And tonight, down by 3, they put 2 men on and get the potential tying run to the plate. Got him looking on the slider as he struck out the side.
When a guy makes a pitch like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. You got to be geared for that fastball, and you just hope he misses the strike zone with it.
3 hours and 21 minutes of baseball here, and Craig Kimbrell and the Braves walk away with a win and take 2 of 3 in the series. Final Atlanta 6, Houston 3.